What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Teach Henley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Teach Henley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people when I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Teach Henley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Teach Henley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from antondaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with us. Thank y'all for tuning in for another edition of Monday nights here on the Q show. So Q is out. She got to take care of a little bit of a business, but we still got a full panel and we got a full show for y'all today. And the majority of the show, we're going to focus on Charlie Kirk. Everything and anything surrounding and involving Charlie Kirk. And so we're looking forward to having a good conversation. So ground rules. We are going to spend a maximum of, I don't know, somewhere between 45 minutes and an hour on each conversation, but no longer than 3 hours for the total show like we always do. But I am looking forward to having a great conversation with all of the people on the panel. How y'all feel today?
Doing good, bro. How you doing, man?
Doing great.
I'm good.
Awesome. We're feeling good.
Everybody got a clear camera. Look like we in 2025. We good. All right. Mario, you look a little different.
Yeah, that's my professional picture for my jobs and applications. I need to update it.
All right. Rules of the chat. So, first and foremost, chat, you know we don't do censorship over here. We invite all conversations, but a couple different things. All right, only two. The first thing is first rule of Fight Club. No, I'm just kidding. The first rule is no spam in the chat. All right. Anytime anybody spam in the chat, that's going to warrant you an instant automatic timeout. So you can go in the corner and think about it for a second. Second rule is don't be overly disrespectful. I shouldn't even have to tell you that. Leave people, kids out of it, family, all of that type of stuff. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? Get your shit off. Make sure that you express how you feel. It don't matter if you're liberal, conservative, Republican, if you're sassy, pillow biter, all of that stuff goes. All right. We don't have to agree with it, but we're not going to censor you. Anyways, with that being said, I hope everybody is prepared to have a great conversation tonight. And so I'm going to go ahead and introduce the first subject.
Okay, there is an aspect of Charlie Kirk's death that I just haven't seen anyone talking about. And first, I want to say personally, I believe his death is very sad and tragic, and that political violence doesn't benefit anyone. I believe in the long run, it really hurts all of us. What I'm seeing is a night and day difference between the way my white Christian friends are responding to this and the way my black Christian friends are responding to his assassination. My white Christian friends are treating this like the death of a martyr or a saint. And my black Christian friends are pointing out that, hey, this is sad, but the man was an unapologetically racist and very dishonest individual who did a lot of damage in the political realm. And I've seen all the clips to back up their claims, and you should too if you haven't. They really are horrible. And I wonder if it's because the way the algorithm works that white people just didn't see this side of him, or if they saw it and ignored it. but we can't ignore it. We have to call it out for what it is and to denounce it in strongest terms, because to cover racism and Christian ideology like Charlie Kirk and Trump and so many others do, it is a sin as old as this nation, and it's literally what has kept us divided as Christians and otherwise for 400 years.
So, wanted to start off with a liberal perspective about this whole thing, and I'm gonna call on somebody. Let me see who I can call on to get this started, and then it's literally pop up, and so anybody can say whatever it is that they want to say. I'm gonna start off with RM because he's not looking at the screen. RM, what are your thoughts on what the young Caucasian snow hair just said about the difference between how the majority of white Christian friends versus black Christian friends are responding to Charlie Kirk's death?
So far, what I've seen, he's correct, but I just want to make something clear. I'm not liberal, so maybe you want to call somebody else. But
no, I'm not necessarily speaking on. It doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum. Just your perspective in general.
My perspective is, I just think that not enough people really understand what they're talking about, maybe on both sides, but in particular, what he was saying about like how, I guess, black Christians don't believe that he's a martyr. I'm curious as to why they don't think he's a martyr. Like, why wouldn't he be a martyr? He literally is a martyr based off of what just happened. So how is he not a martyr?
Well, I think one of the reasons why people that don't necessarily agree with the rhetoric of Charlie Kirk is saying that is because they actually think that he is racist or he was negative towards black people or gay people or anything like that, right? And so because of that, they believe that he didn't really die for a greater cause. He just needed to be, you know what I'm saying? His rhetoric was it was bad for everybody.
Like he was a grifter or something like that?
No, they just don't agree with what he was saying.
When was he ever racist?
Like what? Yeah, that's another question I was going to ask. Is like, what made him? Why do they think he's racist? Like, what did he?
Because he held black people accountable.
I think a lot of it is definitely out of context too, and it's just a lot of it is clipped up. I remember watching just yesterday a video, and it was he doesn't believe in empathy, and they cut it off right there. And if you watch the whole video, he goes off to say, but I rather the word sympathy. So it's like stuff like that where they just cut it off and just to push a narrative. So that's what I see.
Yeah, I think he just believed that, people are people, and you can't keep falling back, no offense, but on the race card and saying, poor me. You got to take responsibility for your life and do better. That was his message.
No matter who you are. What about meism that's going on? It's like, what about people in Palestine? What about the people in Ukraine? What about what just happened? Okay, wrap this up. I guess a black man was found hanging from a tree today. It's like, let's wrap this up. Let's focus on that. What about this? Well, he said this. It's like, can you not just take the time to have sympathy? Maybe not empathy, because what he was saying, I think, was it Terry that was saying that? What he was getting to also was that nobody will truly know how it is that the other person feels, and that empathy was being politicized by people like Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, and just overall in politics. But of course, that goes against their narrative, and they have to go with, oh, well, I'm not going to have empathy for him. Unless you know exactly what it is that man has gone through, or exactly what it is that his family is going through right now, you won't know. The only people that can even kind of relate would be, and I know people are up in arms about this, would be the King family, would be the Kennedys, because they experienced they have somebody in their family who was assassinated. Other than that, nobody else can know what it is that those families are grieving at this point and give your sympathy, not empathy, because there's a difference.
I will say, though, I believe the vast majority of people, whether it be white or black, are kind of understand what's going on, and for me it's just fringe groups that kind of make everything more dramatic, in my opinion.
They're very loud.
Yeah. They're just very loud. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't believe, Terry, that the majority of people, for example, let's take black people. Do you believe that the majority of black people actually um, dislike Charlie Kirk or like Charlie Kirk?
I wouldn't say like. I would say the vast majority can process the information and separate it from their feelings and say, all right, yeah, I can agree with that. Whether it makes them feel good or not, I think the vast majority of Americans in general, even black people, can separate their feelings from facts. Like everyone can kind of see like what he's saying is true. Um, I mean, how many people do we have online, black, speaking against the community? Not against, but pointing out the flaws in the community and stuff like that. But all of a sudden, if a white guy does it, then is an issue. So I think we all know what's going on, but those fringe people are just going to be the loudest people speaking out.
I don't believe that, Terry.
Yeah.
I don't believe
Anton,
that.
can we just quit?
Well, go ahead, Nikki.
Can we? Why were you keeping it cute? Like, seriously though, we already know what's going on. Have these people dumb. They do not know what's going on. Never heard of Charlie Kirk. They not researching until now. They dumb. And you know they dumb. So I'm at the point now where I don't even want to listen to them. They don't know what Charlie Kirk stood for. They don't. They couldn't, because I like Charlie Kirk and I haven't even heard everything Charlie Kirk said. So I know you haven't. So how all of a sudden now, just like everything, they let the media tell them what to think, what to do, how to move, what seasoned chicken to eat, all this silly stuff. They dumb. It's period point blank. Like all this keeping it cute. I am so over them, and I'm almost disgusted, and I'm tired of.
Yeah, if you ask them,
I might have to backtrack.
Almost disgusted. I am disgusted.
I mean, I am disgusted, but I'm trying to leave room for growth. But I'm to the point where I'm trying not to have an evil heart. So
it's despicable.
I have to keep that balance, because after this, I really feel. I am disgusted with our community. Like they just
why are y'all disgusted? Why y'all disgusted? I don't understand.
Because they brain so
I'm
smooth.
disgusted. I'm disgusted because I literally had a back and forth on Facebook about this, with everybody coming at me, calling me coons, this, that, and the third, white people lover, all this, that, and the third. They came down on me, on my back. Everybody unfriended me, this, that, and the third. Who cares? Like this, like I'm just so over the fact you're celebrating and glorifying a man's death. Like he was killed in front of hundreds of people, in front of his wife, his kids. It's just like it lacks they lack humanity. It's just despicable. It's evil. And it's just like I can't even. You just gotta shake your head. It's crazy.
A lot of what I've been seeing is just herd mentality too. Like there's a girl I had a conversation with who literally grew up in the same church that I grew up. So we've been hearing these conservative viewpoints, growing up all our lives. And I saw her make a post and I commented. I'm like, didn't we grow up in the same church? Like what do you mean these are radical ideologies? Like we grew up listening to this. Like what are you talking about? But I guess it made for a good post and engagement. And she's like, well, I agree with what you're saying, but just to give credence to the opposite side and stuff like that. I'm just like, all right.
Mario, what are your thoughts on this, Mario? You don't have to be afraid either.
Oh no, I'm not afraid. I was just listening to everybody. I think we're all on the same page here. Is death, because I was watching it live, not necessarily live, but I got the updates kind of as soon as it happened. His death affected me a lot. I've been listening to Charlie maybe 8-9 years now, and he stood for a lot of things that I believe in. I'm a Christian first, and that really gets my community upset if I put my Bible believing beliefs in front of my race. I lost a lot of followers during this past election season when they came like publicly known and I was going on lives. defending conservative values and telling people why I vote the way I do. Aaliyah, kind of the same thing. Everybody calls me coon. Am I married to a white woman? Like, different stuff. But I think his death affected me the most, because if you're spiritual or have the Holy Spirit, you could tell there was a huge shift, because what he believed first was Jesus, and then he backed whatever he believed up with the law. So he didn't believe in single parent households. He was like, hey, Black community, you'll be better off with having the Father in the home. And the Bible says all good and perfect gifts coming down from above from the Father of lights. Like, you need a father. And then after that, he started saying you shouldn't look to the government to be your daddy. God is the Father. Like, he'll take care of you. You just need to trust him. That's not always easy. So it was a huge thing in my community, my like inner community, this immediate community. We all love Charlie. I think
Let me
Frozen. Okay.
No, you cool. Dalen, let me get your thoughts on this.
Well, first I'll say that excuse me if my voice is a little ragged. I'm getting over the cold. But let me say that when I first opened X, that was the first thing that I saw, a tweet that Charlie Kirk was shot. They didn't say anything about the state that he was in until I kept scrolling. Okay, he's stable. And then I kept scrolling, he's pronounced dead. I immediately dropped my phone, and for some reason, what I found later on, like many others, I began to bawl as if I knew this guy. And I think that it was because no one is ever supposed to see something like this, especially for our generations. We're used to reading about assassinations. All those college students, they only read about stuff like this and saw videos of it, but to witness it, it's not just seeing someone murdered, but someone assassinated in front of you. It could have been anybody. I will say that I think that what we're seeing now is they're making this a race battle, like a race war. And I think that there are a lot of, for lack of better words, white people who say that he's a racist because they have this white guilt and they want to align themselves with the Black community. They want to share their history of being a victim, or should I say our ancestors of being victims. They want to have some sort of allegiance or alliance, but they see you as, as victims. It's almost like they see you as inferior, like you need my whiteness to help you, otherwise you won't amount to anything. And we also see a lot of Black people truly think that if you're white, you're automatically a racist, because a lot of these people don't even know that there were more white people who aren't even descendants of slave owners or any people who believed in segregation. I think it's disgusting. We have been shown in real time just how much vermin is amongst us. And it's not about, wanting someone dead. We're watching people glorify the act of murder, not just someone who lost their life. And I think for individuals that celebrate murder, especially in this capacity, are people that understand that you will never beat the truth. You will never intimidate people out of the truth. You cannot lie your way, to get people to dismiss the truth. So when you can't beat them, when you don't want to join them, now it's time to kill you. And I think we have exposed a lot of people in our own circles. And I think Mario and Aaliyah, you all said that you lost followers. No, you didn't. You lost snakes in your grass. You got people that are going to unfollow you and call you names because you have the compassion and the power of the Holy Spirit in your heart that lets you know you will not champion and glorify something just because you were disagreed with someone or agreed with something that people are claiming is racist. This is how you know people have not watched Charlie Kirk. They are used to reading headlines because there are too many words in an actual article. For lack of better words, knees that grow get intimidated by a lot of words put together. So they're not interested. And I'm just flat out disgusted. I haven't posted about it or spoken about it. I had a political battle with a family member over the weekend, obliterated her, God bless her soul. But I just can't. I have turned back to my faith. For a while, I've been a heathen. And this opened my eyes, and now I am back on the journey of my faith, because I feared far too often. And I know that we have a lot of work to do to get our country back to where it needs to be. So those are my thoughts.
Can I say something towards that, Anton, what Dalen just said on going back to church? So, because while you was talking, I was remembering, so I went on X, and it's funny that you said that you turned back to your faith. So I was reading about it. So apparently, I guess he had like 1 million or so, 2 million or so followers. It surged up to like 10 million. But they said there was a surge Sunday after his assassination of people going back to church. So I went to the comments, and it was so many people saying, some of them saying how they never even believed in God, but for some reason they just wanted to go to church. So I think that's amazing. And if anything come out of that, and I'm so happy for you and proud of you, because ain't nothing like it.
I will say, with that, I don't think that, people have to go to church. And I only say this because watching Jamal Bryant, that spiritual crook, so many spiritual crooks walking out here using a pulpit as some political strong arm. How dare those? I have to be very mindful about my words because of the new.
Be a Christian.
I'm working into that part too.
Girl, please, you better meet them demons where they at. I don't play that no more. I used to be nice like that.
Right, because I can really get like that verbally if I need to. But I just can't believe, this is one of the reasons why the Black community has been so stagnant, not only in population, but in intellectual standard. You're letting this man tell you someone was racist, not because they can prove that they were racist, but because they're white. You're teaching our youth and everybody else that if you're white, you're automatically racist. They don't even know what racism is. They just think, well, if you're not Black, you must not like my Black ass. Excuse my French. And I just don't understand it. You ask these people, describe racism. What is racism? I don't know if you all know who iShowSpeed is. He's this like big time streamer. And I'll make this brief because I don't want to go too off topic. I saw racism live. A white man was selling a car for like $70,000. And we all know these streamers have the money. He was going to give him the money outright, but he was so standoffish. He wouldn't talk to me, wouldn't look at him. So his cameramen and people had to say, bruh, he's selling the car. He just don't want to sell it to you because you're Black. And I'm like, if you want to know what racism looks like, that's what it looks like. That a white person could be in a financial bind, but they would stay there because they would be damned if they take green dollars from a Black man. So if you want to see what racism looks like, you can definitely see what it looks like. But to be,
you would say that's racism?
I think that it absolutely is, to treat someone like they cannot have eye contact, like you cannot talk to them, that they don't deserve your words, your body language. That I do think that interaction that I saw live was racism. But people think that racism has to be violent. And I don't think that it does. I think being racist can be, passive in a sense, to the point where someone doesn't know that this individual maybe is prejudiced or biased against you, because they obviously need to sell this car. If you're selling this type of vintage car, you're in a financial bind. And this guy is saying,
that's not necessarily true. That's not true. That's not true.
Well, he could have just been a rude person. He could have just been ignorant and stupid. Why does it have to go straight to race?
Or he didn't want to sell his car.
Here's my thing. I think that racist is probably the most overused word, one of the most overused words out today. I don't think that just because somebody don't sell something to you, or they don't want to do business with you, or they don't take you serious, I don't by default think that the person is racist or prejudiced or biased or any of that type of stuff.
Well, I think I don't believe that. When you have context, I'm not just going based off of what somebody told me.
I looked at the video too. I'm familiar with it. I just don't think that he took him serious because he just thought that he was a young kid.
And
I don't think it had anything to do with racism. I don't think it had anything to do with anything.
And I think that is your right to believe that. But if someone can, in my personal opinion, identify racism as they know what it is, they can say, okay, that's what that is, versus being spoon-fed. This is racism. This is racism. This is racism. Just because white people are involved, then we have a problem. Of course, there are people that are still going to practice prejudice in the name of racism. But I point that out because if you want to know what it looks like when someone is mistreating you or doing something to you or against you because of the color of your skin, there are cameras everywhere. You can see in real time what it looks like, so you don't conflate or be easily manipulated into thinking that every interaction with a white person, is a racist thing. So that's why I brought that up.
I don't think
But
that
that's
people.
what you said.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't believe that most people even know what racism is.
I agree with that. I do agree with that.
I don't. I think that somebody choosing not to rock with you or choosing not to do business with you, I don't think that that's by default racist.
Well, in a sense,
I agree.
he did ask him. He was like, "Oh, you're selling the car, right?" Yeah. Oh, you just don't want to sell it to me. So it can be a number of things. He may not like streamers. He may think
But why? But can I
But why
ask?
does it
Why did you
automatically gotta be
automatically think
because
that
he's
that was
black?
racism?
Because see, I have context. I can look at it and I say, well, this to me, I wanted more information. I'm looking at it. I'm watching your behavior. He's asking you questions. I'm not making an assumption. I have these things that I see and I have these things that I'm witnessing. This isn't something someone is telling me. And by the looks of it, it's racism to me. Now, that does not mean that I'm going to apply that white people as a whole are now racist. There's no way I can say that, knowing that I learned actually not too long ago that only 1.2% of white people were actually slave owners. So the chances of some white person that you have an interaction with isn't even a descendant of a slave owner. So I don't have that mindset that if there's like a negative interaction with a white person or a black person, where the black person got the short end of the stick, that it's automatically racism. But if you're telling someone and not really talking to them and saying, yeah, I am selling the car, but I'm not going to sell it to you, and he's asking you why, it's not because I'm black, and you're not defending yourself to say, of course it's not.
What made you think? What makes your mind? Hold on, wait a minute. I got two questions for you.
Oh, I forgot. I have to be the opposition on these type of topics. It's okay. It's all right.
Now you're a victim now.
No, I was going to ask if I had the same experience buying a car.
Hold on, E-Train. I'm going to come back to you. Okay. You're a victim now. Okay, I got you. So, my fellow victim tonight. My first question is, why does your brain automatically go into color? Is what I'm asking.
That last part, would you say, why does my brain go to what?
Why does your brain by default go to color?
Only because at the moment when he asked him, oh, you are selling the car, you just don't want to sell it to me. And he was like, yeah. And he asked him, well, why? I have the cash, I have the money, I can take care of it. I have cars like this. If you think that I'm gonna just take advantage of this car and damage it, you want to sell it to someone that's gonna treat you with the same respect you did. So it's like even the cameraman thought that, the supporters around.
Why did you think that?
Wait. It doesn't matter what you think. It only matters if it's true. So why color? It could be anything. It could be because he got spiked hair. It could be because he's young. It could be because he don't really take him serious when he think he a tire kicker. It could be a lot
of. Or he didn't want to be on camera doing it.
It could be because he was recording and he had a bunch of cameramen around him. It could be a lot of things.
It could be. But if you had to ask me, I would say that because of the interaction and because of the confirmation that you are desperate to get this car, and someone has
Why do you keep saying that he's desperate? Who told you that he was desperate?
Well, the kind of car that it was, I would assume that if someone is selling like an old vintage car, people want to keep those as like collectibles. So if you're selling something like that, you're probably in a financial bind. Things happen, we understand.
That's not true. That's not true.
Well, it's not true. I just know that if somebody is selling their car, either they have too many cars or they feel like, okay, I need some cash, I can sell this vehicle. But I think that it wasn't just my thought, it was the thoughts of the people who were actually there. And if you had to gauge it, you have to say, well, damn, this right here looks like racism, but I'm not going to dismiss that it could be because he just doesn't like young guys, or the streamers can be very obnoxious, or any other.
How come that wasn't your first thought?
Are you thinking that because everybody else thought that, or are you thinking that because you thought that?
See, I don't think you all are listening because you're
probably. Let me help Dalen out right quick.
I don't think.
Well, hold on. Let me ask my second question. Let me ask my second question.
Well, I was going to answer it.
Hold on. Let me
Yeah, no, can she answer me? Can she answer me?
I don't want to just
ignore. Wait. Because I know Mario. I'm pretty sure Mario got his cape on tonight, so we're gonna go ahead and put that on your back real quick.
I got a question for E-Train when we get a trans.
Before you get into that, what do you look at as racism? What's racism to you?
Racism is the act of preventing someone or using a position of power or authority to prevent someone from having something that they have a right to as a human being.
Something that they have a right to?
As a human being, like denying someone has a right to something because of the color of their skin. I do believe racism is a verb as well, but it can go hand in hand with prejudice.
So if I decide that I don't want to do business with you because of the color of your skin, is that racism?
I would say it is prejudice, and I would have to look at it like...
Is it racism?
I think it's an act of, if you're not doing something for someone that they have a right to do, or a right to access to, and are preventing them from it because of a position of power or authority you come from because of the color of their skin, then of course that's an act of racism.
At what level do you draw a distinction between something being racism and prejudice? Like, is it a CEO level? Is it a government level? At what level do you say, that person is being racist?
Hold on. Before you even go into that, where does stereotype play a role, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'll give you an example. If a white couple is walking down the street in Washington, D.C., and they decide that they want to cross the street because they see a black man in a hoodie that's walking towards them the opposite way, is that a form of racism?
I think that's a form of fear and knowledge.
Based off of what?
Based off of experience. Based
off of experience?
Pattern recognition.
Based off what you see on
typical behaviors.
You're saying white people.
I'm trying to separate what racism is versus adding in a stereotype versus a bias. A bias could be anything, literally. It could be you think that you don't want to sell something to somebody because they're not going to take care of it as much as you want them to.
Well, I think it's different from saying that. I think it's different from saying that if you didn't watch it. If someone just told you this and you didn't watch it. Now, I think it's okay to say, you know what, if I had to say to myself, how can I identify it? And ensuring that, because if there's ever a situation where there's a white person or a black person that maybe had like what's the word I'm looking for, an unfavorable experience, you don't automatically say, well, it's an act of racism. My point with bringing that up is
like the man selling his car.
So when someone is telling you this person is racist, this act is racist, you can say no, because I know what it looks like. And you are lying to me and manipulating me by telling me this person is a racist or this situation was a racist.
All right, so let me reverse it real quickly. And then y'all could go ahead, and because I know I stopped a lot of people from asking a lot of questions. If me as a black man, and I own this 86 GNX Buick Grand National that's meant a lot to me because it was passed down by my father and the family. And a white man comes up to me and say, hey man, I got the money, I want to buy it. But I say, you know what? I don't really want to sell it to you because I kind of want to keep it within the culture. Is that a form of racism?
Well, you gave a reason. So you just eliminated room for speculation. So if you say you're just reserving it for people that are a part of the culture, I don't know if I would say that's active racism, because a lot of people think that, and I don't know what I think about black people being racist. I just don't think that we're organized enough to even practice that, but you can definitely be prejudiced.
So wait. So the assumption that he did.
We're not organized enough to be racist.
Wait a minute.
So I'm sorry. I know black people are successful.
I think that was racist comment.
Hold on.
Racist?
So the assumption, in which we didn't know, the assumption that the white guy didn't sell it to iShowSpeed is a form of racism. But me blatantly telling him that I don't want to sell it to him because he's white is not racism.
Oh, so that's what you're saying. Because you are not
black.
black.
I didn't have to explain it. I just want to see where you're consistent at.
Well, if you're making it clear that, well, because you're not black, I can't sell you this car, even though I just want the money and you have the money, but I'm not going to sell it to you because you're not black. Of course, that's an act of it because you're selling a car to the open, but you're not saying, hey, I'm selling a car, but only to black people. You're going to wait.
That's what keeping it within the culture means, right?
Well,
I think there's a difference between saying keeping it in the culture versus I won't.
What does keeping it in the culture mean to you, Terry?
Saying you don't deserve it because you are white versus
I think we know the context.
To me, that's like the
Anton was
same.
talking about.
Yeah, that's like the same as someone saying I want to marry black because I want my kids to be black versus I don't want you bringing home a white girl. That's more of a preference.
So what? So
wait.
So if now we get into the nuance. So if a white person says that same thing, is it justified?
I think so.
Okay, cool. Do you think that most black people will look at that as racist?
I think so. Yeah. I think. Well, at least for me, I think most black people were. I think Daily even said we don't have enough power to. I think if you're just saying something based off skin color, I deem that racism. Both ways.
Y'all can ask y'all questions. I just wanted to get the
confused with the. I'm genuinely confused.
Oh, so I just want to play a little game with each. I just want to play a little game. Let's throw the lips a bone. I had a question for each Rain.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, this question, I've never heard it. Anybody could. I'm assuming that you're Caucasian, correct?
Yes, I am.
And you grew up around Caucasians, lived around them, all that good stuff, correct?
Actually, the high school I went to was 60% black.
Okay, but you're familiar with white culture, YT culture. So my question to you is, because I hear this question asked to black people all the time. So I want to know what your perspective is. What does racism actually look like from your perspective? What is racism?
In my perspective,
that you know, that you've seen it or that made you feel, I'm not going to say it's bad, I'm just saying that you think is racist just from peers.
It is hate towards a group of people or a color of people, period. I mean, I remember, like I said, my high school was 60% black. I would walk down the hall and I would have girls just run into me and say, excuse you. And I'm like, what did I do? I mean, I'm just a little 14-year-old, trying to get to class. And luckily my brother was a little bit older and played football and stuff with some of the guys in school, the black guys. And they would say, hey, leave her alone. That's Shadow's little sister. And I'm like, okay. And they were like, all right, fine. But I mean, to me, that was racist. They were just running into me and telling me it was my fault.
I'll deem that.
I could say now I will say.
She said it was racist?
Well, hold on, Terry. That's not necessarily
y'all are asking.
true.
I mean, it was
right. Yeah, we can't diminish what
she
feeling because I'm asking.
Yeah,
what she deems, but I am asking. Have you seen racism towards black people?
Have I seen it? No.
Okay.
I'm so glad that she being real.
The only reason I say that's not racism is because, like, when they're like, "Oh, that's whoever's little sister." If they're like, "I don't give a fuck, she's a white girl," that's different. But if they're like, oh, "Okay, now she's cool," that's just an acceptance thing. Kids, they have their circles. Like,
it's a jealousy thing, Terry. Quit being cute.
Yeah, we know exactly how it is. We know exactly how it is for white girls compared to black girls in a majority black girl school. We bullies.
I don't think that's
we're bullies. No, trust me, we're bullies, and we talk about, oh, that's the white girl. Oh, look who she talking to. She's over there talking to Brandon. No, Brandon, Brandon better not be talking to that white girl. It's everything white girl, white girl, white girl, white girl. Everything got to do with color.
If someone comes around, we got to stay consistent.
We not sugarcoating this junk tonight. We're not going to do that.
If someone comes around and they say,
one or two mic it, all right?
Yeah, but if someone comes around and they say, hey, she's cool, and you're like, okay, she's cool. That's not. How's that still?
No, that's a respect thing. If they respect a specific person, even though they're looking at that person like, oh, I don't like you because of your color, because you're white, they're gonna be like, oh, that's such and such, because black girls do the same thing men do. They love white men that look good and all that other stuff. So trust me.
because you're white, but you're okay.
No, listen. I'm gonna tell you right now, because I was trying to finish. I'm gonna finish my thought because I was letting y'all ride this whole time. We're not gonna do this tonight. We're not gonna tiptoe around what really be happening in our community. We know that we hand out the cookout cards freely as soon as we see somebody, a white girl that we like. We're not telling you come into the cookout if we don't like you. Because we automatically know we are not with white folks like that. I'm from Louisiana, as southern as it can get. Trust me, this is what happens. It's a lot of racism going on. Black women do not be liking white women. That's why they're like, oh, you cool? Oh, okay. As soon as someone else says it and they clear it up, that's when they're like, oh, okay, then. Yeah, you good. Am I lying?
No. I mean, this was a star basketball player and the star football player for a high school that was like, you got to leave her alone.
Literally, and they're like that's the respect, that's the honor, that's the one that they wanted to be with.
If you can abandon it that fast, then your racism not deep enough.
You can abandon it that fast because that's exactly what the white women was doing whenever racism was up and live and kicking. They was doing the same thing.
If a black guy came around a group of racist white people, and then one white guy was like, "Oh, he's cool," you think them racist white boys would be like, "Oh, yeah, he's cool"?
Yes, that still happened.
Racism. No, it does not.
No, that's still what happened. Yes, it would. And you want to know why? Because men, well, they thrive off of respect. You should know this. Y'all thrive off of respect and honor. If you cool with somebody and somebody else is like, hey, not this one, they won't do it around you. They'll be cool or whatever and respect you and make sure you good. And then some of them may even turn the cheek and be like, you know what? You actually aren't that bad. I don't know if you ever Remember the Titans. That's a clear example. It was a true story that actually really happened. They had a black team against going with the white team, and they had to be separated until the whole desegregation stuff happened. And once that happened, they had to figure out how the hell to get along. And some people, they drew the line and like, I'm not crossing it. And other people were like, you know what? No, I actually like you. I understand you. People can switch.
Racism.
It's literally.
Or you're not. I don't do selective racism. Either you're racist.
Yeah,
it's not about select.
That's what I believe.
You know what? I got to roll with her because even if you want to cite the movie as an example, it took the team captains to validate, that their teammates should be feeling a certain type of way towards the other group of people, which then changed the minds of the majority of the people towards white people and white people towards black people in the movie. Terry, you can't tell me that a person giving somebody a pass absolutely validates them.
I don't think
so. So you're telling me that when somebody says, hey man, no, they cool, that don't automatically change the whole scenario or the whole sentiment towards the person.
I think either you're racist or you're not. That's it. I don't do selective racism. Either you're racist or you're not.
But see, that's the whole issue right there, because racism is not this cemented feeling that should just be attached to people permanently. Like you should be able to change.
If you're calling someone racist,
if you choose to change from being a racist person, racism should be where, like they were saying, you act this way until you don't. If you don't act this way, nobody's gonna call you racist. If you don't tell people I used to be a racist.
Let me ask you a question, Terry. Do you think that white women slave owners or white women that were married to slave owners were overall racist?
I think context matters. That we're hold on, say that one more time.
White women that were married to slave owners, slavers,
right?
Do you think that they were racist?
I think so, 100%.
What about when they fucked the black guy?
Then the people that did that, I think they had selective racism.
But you said you don't believe in selective racism.
Yeah, you said that.
That's the whole point.
Gotcha.
You said that you don't believe in selective racism,
right? But
then you validated that selective racism is real.
Well, hold on. Well, you started off with asking me, do I think that all slavers' wives were racist? That's a blanket statement. And then you added the nuance and saying, well, what about the people that sleep with black people? That's a different set of slavers' lives.
No, you said no. You said either you're racist or you're not.
Right.
And then you validated the reason why they were sleeping with the black men was because it was selective racism. But it invalidated your previous point to where you said you don't believe in selective racism.
Then I don't think they're truly racist. If you can sleep with a black person, I don't think you're truly racist. I think you have
Terry.
They weren't sleeping with
Hold on, wait. According to you, either you racist or you not, right?
Right.
So what is a fully racist? I don't get it.
I think if you're racist to the core, if somebody's going to call you a racist, then all your outlooks, all of your views are racist. That's what I believe.
I think the word that you're looking for is
I think you can have
I
think people can have instances of what people may deem racism, but I can't say someone is racist, like call someone a racist, unless that's the ideology they live by.
The word
I'm not going to call a person a Christian because they go to church. Yes, yeah, I'm not going to call a person a Christian because they're on and off with their Christianity. Like either you're Christian or you're not. Either you're racist.
Listen.
You can have a
selective. The word you're
ideology.
trying to use is evil.
It's very black and white, right?
Right.
You saying it's black and white?
No, I think there are selective instances.
And use the Christian example.
You're saying that it's either one or the other.
All right, now
you can't
use
use the Christian example if you then not saying that it's black or white. Because you just said that you don't believe in lukewarm Christians.
Right. But look, you can have instances of racism, but I don't think that necessarily makes you racist. I think if you're going to call yourself a racist, then you have to stick with that ideology all throughout. If that makes sense.
What does all throughout mean?
Like if you're racist, you're not going to be like, all right, well, I'm racist against some black people. No, I'm racist all the time. Now you can have instances of racism.
What if you're only racist towards black people?
Well, that was the term.
You're still racist.
Right. But what you're saying is like there's instances where you can be racist, but then you're not really racist. But then, like, you're kind of all over.
Yeah,
the place.
you can deem like the example of the guy crossing the street, right? Or a couple crossing the street and they see a black guy coming. Like if the black guy is just a black guy and you crossing just to cross, I think that's an instance of racism. But I wouldn't deem you a
What's
racist.
just a black guy?
How is that?
What does that mean?
Situational awareness.
But
yeah,
no,
that's
not racist.
That's with a hoodie on.
We added
in
we added nuance. He has a hoodie on. Now if you're crossing just because he's a black guy, that makes no sense.
Well, then guess what? I do that every single day. If I see a black guy with a hood on and he got his hands in his pocket and they look deep, I'm going the other way.
Of course.
I'm a woman. I'm a woman by myself. Of course, I'm gonna do the same thing. So I'm racist too.
If you see if you see a regular black guy, no hoodie, just a regular black guy, would you still cross the street? Just because
if I see a regular, listen, I'm gonna tell you my whole steez. I'm gonna tell you my whole steez right now. If I see a regular black guy, I'm looking down to the ground, I'm moving to the side, and I'm keep going where I'm going. If I see the man dressed in a hoodie, hands in his pocket, I'm going the other way. I'm not going to continue passing go. I'm not finna play Monopoly. I'm not playing Monopoly.
Professor Anton, Professor.
Is that what we're distinguishing between a white and a black man? That's what I hear.
What is a regular?
That's what I was about to
ask.
What is a regular
black man? What does that mean?
Like a
regular black man. They keep saying you see a regular black dude. What is regular?
Someone that doesn't present as a threat. We all know what
So hoodies a
you
threat.
guys gave.
That's what I say. You said hoodies and he cold, so they hands in their pocket.
But what's a
What are we
threat?
talking
No,
about?
you guys added that nuance. If
What's
the
a
black guy
threat?
has a
I'm
hoodie
asking
on with
you.
his hood on, that
So
looks
You said
different
that.
to me.
You said a regular black guy. So what did you say? A
am I
regular
regular
black guy?
right now?
So what is a
And
regular
casually
black
dressed.
guy?
What's
to
a
you?
threat?
I'm just trying to make sure you ain't gonna be treating my baby wrong.
Y'all. Everybody can't talk
I'm
at the
sorry.
same time. Nobody can hear.
Like I'm just over the hypocrisy. Like that it blows me all the time. And it's like they try to say it's nuance, but it's like literally it's just y'all feelings. Get out y'all feelings. Y'all feel Y'all feel threatened. You feel like somebody coming at you a certain way. They're calling you stupid, or they trying to say you less than, making you feeling unworthy. All of that lines up with, oh, it's racism. No, that's not what that means. That means that this is that person's words. This is their opinion. That's how they feel. They feel like they want to sell you something. Then cool. If they don't, you shouldn't even have to think about color.
Hold on, you're
Like,
talking about
it's such a
feelings, but the
color
black girl is
world.
bumping into a white girl
I was
is
just going to say
racism.
the same thing.
You're
I
all
think
over the
No,
place.
no.
Come on,
I
man.
think people think racism is however it makes them feel.
No, I said I know the intention. I know there's an intention that comes behind racism. But y'all like sitting here making it seem like just because somebody does something, you automatically know the intention and it's racist.
Who said that?
That's the difference. I'm an actual black girl that was around other black girls that used to pick on white girls just because. I know the intention. So you can't tell me nothing about what I'm saying. What I'm trying to get y'all to understand is that there is a difference. You can't just sit here and be like, oh, it's nuance. It's this, it's that. And you don't know nobody's intention unless they actually say it. When Anton gave you that example and he said, if I tell you I don't want to sell this car to you because you're white, that is racism. If you sit here and say the man is just not selling you a car, but he's not giving you a direct answer, why are you thinking it's racism? It doesn't make any sense. Whenever they was doing this junk back to our people in 1900s, before we was even born, when the real racism was actually going on, they let you know, nigga, go up the street 5 miles and go use the restroom. Period. Don't come in here. You can't have my pies. These is white people pies. Y'all over here talking about some damn racism, and y'all over there at McDonald's. Cut it out.
I don't know.
I got a
tangent
question.
You just went on. I don't know what you just what last 20 seconds you spoke about. To be honest.
And the reason why we were talking about
exactly, and that's my whole point. You don't know because it's not happening. It's literally.
Yeah, I'm confused. I got a question though. That
I know exactly what you're saying.
I got a question that it was kind of brushed over. So I keep hearing this argument about like we can't be racist because we don't have the power. Like power is somehow tied to racism. At what level do people make the distinction between what something is racist and what something is prejudiced? Like for instance, what Anton was saying. If Anton is the CEO of his company and he fires somebody, and because they're black, is Anton racist?
Who you
Depends
asking?
on the situation.
Oh.
It depends on the situation. So he's not racist if he says I fired this person because they're black.
I think if you're doing something strictly of someone's race, that makes you racist. If you're doing it off other factors, whether it's their gender, whether it's their sexuality, how they have their haircut, then that's prejudice.
Okay, so it's not a power thing. It's just racist.
I think every community has spheres of power. Black people are racist. White people. I'm not saying everybody is. I'm saying like there are certain instances where black people exhibit racism towards other races. Doesn't even have to be somebody white. It can be somebody.
So the
Asian.
argument is that we aren't racist because we don't have power. I'm just trying to find the distinction.
Yeah, I'm on your team, bro. I don't believe that.
Who is anyone here think that I'm wrong with that?
I think that's a race.
We're not racist because we don't have power.
No, like I'm saying my
somebody's phone going crazy.
Yeah, I said it wrong. Does anyone?
Somebody got to put their phone on vibrate.
So who here believes that racism is tied with power? Because I don't believe that.
Power how? Like power
of making the
E-Trend, exactly.
Race.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand the whole dynamic there.
Yeah, me either. That's why I'm asking the question.
I have no idea.
I don't. I'm not really sure if racism is a real thing, in my opinion, en masse today. I just don't think it. I think that for most people, does racism exist? Yeah. En masse, I don't think that most people have experienced it at any point in their life, regardless of what they say. I think that most people are lying. I genuinely do think that people are lying. And I think that it's an overused word, especially when you look at people that are trying to make an excuse for why they are not where they're supposed to be in life.
Now, are they lying or do they genuinely believe?
No, they're lying
because of their upbringing or
Listen, you
because
can
of
lie
what
so much
the
that you
world's told
start to
them.
believe what you're saying.
True.
It's
You can
both.
be in,
They believe it.
Yeah,
you
I was
could
about to
you
say
could
I'm with
listen.
E-Train
You could
because
be raised to believe something, and you don't even know why you believe it, but you believe
Right.
it because it was told to you. This is the way that you're supposed to operate.
Correct.
Right.
And they're not departing from it.
I think part of the reason is we grew up. I don't know how old everybody is, but my age, we grew up in participation trophies, that culture. And
Oh,
so
God bless you.
when something gets denied to you, when it's just regular life. When
Somebody
regular
got to
life
put their
happens,
phone on vibrate,
Yeah.
please.
yeah, somebody's phone going crazy. When regular life happens, when you get denied something, just regular life, everything isn't going to be handed to you. Everybody isn't going to say yes to you. I think because of the participation trophy culture that a lot of people grew up in, it automatically equates to, oh, you don't like me because of the way I look, my skin. Something has to be wrong because I'm so used to being rewarded, even if I lost a game, even if I did something wrong. I'm so used to getting rewarded. Now that I'm an adult and you told me no, you got to be racist. Ain't no way.
Makes sense. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I'm Gen X. I don't know. I think I'm probably closer to Anton's age. Probably older than Anton.
Are you?
I will be 50 next year.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. Usually white women age like milk. You aging a little better than that.
Well, thank you. I do appreciate that.
You see
You look good.
the
You look
comment.
good.
Thank you.
Is saying white people age like milk the same thing as saying black people like fried chicken? Because I think
Everybody
they
like fried
say
chicken.
that.
That's not racist.
Well, you know, all
Do
the
I
black
think it's
people.
racist? Comment? No, I don't.
Everybody like
You know?
fried chicken.
This generation, and I'm pretty young, but this generation will not survive on Bernie Mac. What is Richard Pryor? Hell,
At all.
it's like, why is everybody so sensitive? Like, some stereotypes are true. You can laugh about it and keep it pushing.
Exactly.
Listen, man, I just don't really care about how people feel. Everybody is a cupcake. Most people take everything offensive. They look at any word as racist. It just is what it is. Like I stereotype, and I stereotype hard on everything. It's a safety mechanism. I profile. And if I see a white man coming up here doing like this, that nigga probably on meth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll pay attention. And so the context clues tells me the truth. Now, that ain't got nothing to do with being racist. That got everything to do with lived experiences. And if your lived experiences closely align with what it is that you see on a daily basis, that ain't got nothing to do with racism. And so, like Carmaya said, racism is exactly how she described it. That's some real life shit. And like I said, I think everybody is cupcaked and everybody try to act like they done been through something because everybody want to relate to somebody that said that they've been through something. And I don't believe that most people have been through shit. I just genuinely don't. I think y'all making it up. A lot of people are making up racist experiences to try to validate they hate towards somebody else. I'm just not going for it.
I think the real racism we saw was the happiness that and the gleefulness people had when they found out Charlie Kirk was murdered, because you didn't have any information other than he was a white father, husband, Christian, and you were happy.
That was just evil, though.
Being conservative,
racist, and you are happy, and that you can say, is that racial? Like discriminating against him because he was white, or you think that because he
I
was
don't
white,
think that was racism.
Nothing to do
I
with
think
it.
that was
because I saw
just
white people going crazy over it too.
facts.
Yep.
Facts.
Yeah, that was an ideology.
like a white
disagreement.
Yeah, I don't think that was racism. I think that was just hate towards a person that didn't
Correct.
believe the way that they believe.
But what about something else about that too? Like, as far as with like, because I was seeing some people in the chat talking about why should I care? He was a racist. Why should I care? He didn't care about Black people. It's like Black people inserted themselves into this conversation because there have been plenty of people that I may not know who are on the liberal side that have passed away. That's not in my algorithm. I may not see that, but I'm not going to sit up here and insert myself and say X, Y, and Z about that person that has passed away, regardless of how I felt about them. And if we're talking about, oh, why didn't y'all make a big deal about Melissa Hortman? People were talking about that. There were conservatives that were saying that that's wrong. Even when, I think it was Josh Shapiro, or I think he was the one whose house got burned up by somebody. People were talking about that too. So to sit up here and try to say, oh, why should I care about him because he was a white man? What will the difference have been? Because I'm a Black woman and I agree with most of what he says. And am I racist or is it the messenger? Mm-hmm. And then I wasn't in, this on social media and stuff like that with the whole Kevin Samuels thing, but I find out that they were talking about Kevin Samuels. I'm like, okay, this is a Black man that was holding you accountable. I think the issue is that Black people they don't care if you're white, they don't care if you're Black, anything in between. They don't like accountability. And
no, hold off on that because I got a segment that we're gonna talk about on that. I don't want
because you hit it right on the nail.
But
right, so wait a minute. Give me a second. Let me read the super chats.
Dang, Anton, I was trying to cook.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you was. I didn't know you was still rocking. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was saying pretty much that
I
was pretty much saying that if Black people couldn't relate to it, like as Black conservatives could relate to what Charlie Kirk was saying, they have heard him. I've been to several TPUSA events. I've been to several Blexit events. That's different. But if you were not in that space and you don't know who this person is, don't just go based off of a clip and sit up here and say that this man is racist or saying, oh, well, why do I care? He didn't care about Black people. You inserted yourself in a conversation that had nothing to do with you. And you want, because you're not the victim in this case, that's the reason why you want to sit up here and do the most on social media, claiming yourself as a Christian. Like, get out of here with that.
And they want to champion Michelle Obama and all these other Black women that's in the forefront, but yet y'all sitting here like DEI, we need DEI and all this junk. Y'all don't even understand how much DEI actually is hurting our people compared to actually benefiting. Like, y'all want a leg up whenever our people back then, they was getting it out the mud, actually getting it out of the mud. They were applying and actually having people call them and say, hey, I want you, even though they were Black. So please.
Yeah, it's interesting about Charlie. A lot of Black people were saying that he was spinning a racist rhetoric. He was actually quoting a lot of Thomas Sowell, and they didn't even know that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was literally saying what Thomas Sowell was saying. So, I mean, if he's saying the same thing, does that mean Thomas Sowell's racist? But I thought we couldn't be racist.
They call him Uncle Tom.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
Hold on. Let me read the super chats, and then I'm gonna introduce y'all to the next subject. We're gonna stay on this. Original Man says Charlie Kirk. He been saying a lot of crazy stuff, but we always like to read all of the super chats. Shout out to the chat. Original Man says Charlie Kirk wouldn't piss on y'all if y'all were on first wearing a MAGA hat. He'll just save the MAGA hat. All right. Shout out to you. A.R. Smitty says white people love her as a diss in 2025 is wild. Billy Goat Gruff says, white clavicles. I see you, E-Train.
That other guy meant fired, Anton. He meant fire, not first. If he was on fire, he wouldn't piss on it.
I read it the way I see it. I don't change it up. Sean G, they got to learn how to proofread before they put it in the chat. Sean G says most Black people aren't informed about any of the social or political topics, including the ones about themselves, or have the nuance to interpret the things CK said, Charlie Kirk said, as any other man, as anything other than racist. King Sonny, shout out to you for the 20 ball, says, I don't give two F's about a person that disrespects the great Dr. Martin Luther King, a real Christian. All right. Also, Aldrin Doe with another 20 ball says, I was born in New Jersey and spent the better part of my life in Cameroon. I've been in the USA. Look at this, guys. It's just me and y'all, chat. As usual, it's like the Millionaire Morning Show. We here, chat. What up? Oh, I got Jerry with me. All right, don't worry about it. NRM. Y'all go ahead. Go pee. Do whatever y'all was doing. Go, you know what I'm saying? Go figure it out. Also says, I've been in the USA, since 2012, and my very first experience with racism came from people that look like me. It happened when I was in the military. All right. Okay. Appreciate you for that. Maury, what up, Maury? What up, though? Says, imagine waking up every day and being paranoid about potential racism 24/7. Low vibrational peon level thinking. Yeah. Gerard Craig, shout out to Gerard Craig, says, I love the scripture that reminds us God is a Lord of war. Maybe it's time to remove the dumb and ignorant from amongst us. I'm with Nikki. I'm done being nice when it comes to these stupid buffoons. Sean G says a lack of empathy a lot of black people have displayed explains why our children can be so unapologetically evil towards each other in the streets. That's a fact. Descendants of Loki says, rest in peace and all that. But while everyone is stuck on this, we ain't talking about the VAC hirings last week. I don't know what the VAC hirings are, but I got you. Moms of the world, moms of the word about the Qatar attack. Nepal overthrew their government, and BRICS is finalizing. Real convenient. Messy mathematician says Dalen capping so hard about her her southern accent is gone. Y'all crazy. J Dog says, what is this? An Uncle Ruckus echo chamber? He built the straw man, claimed the moral high ground, and unfairly made black people the target. Even Charleston White said he shared half truths. You're wrong. Logical Rob says, cuz Carrie, don't be saying it. Thank you for sharing, Anton. I don't know what that means. Shout out to Logical Rob. High Tolerance says, salute AD in the panel. Dalen, we throwing the yellow flag. We gonna need you to return that Guardian cap back to the locker room ASAP. Classic Code says, don't want to attend the cookout anymore, and I'm black. Classic Codes also says the cookout is full of 304s and cancerous foods. Logical Rob says, I got it. And I know the past does change everything. Kayla says, I just moved, so can't give too much LOL, but love all your shows. Shout out to my girl, Kayla. Appreciate you, Kayla. Salisbury Premium Pest Control says, panel looking stupid. Regular guy equal. Ain't no Pookie. No want to be thug. Regular guy equal real shit. Smokey Spearnut says, if you're racist, I can prescribe you some, what is that? BC? Clear that right up. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you. AR Smitty says, so we're Letitia James and Fannie Willis not exercising racism with Donald Trump? Blast Radius says, you celebrate a murder of a family man who just spoke his mind on America Today. Show that you are a weak, vile, evil, and deserved consequences for that evil expression online. We gonna get there. J-Dog says, CIA involvement in crack, redlining, job outsourcing overseas, crack sentencing disparity. This racism affect millions of blacks generationally. Lola Bunny in the building says, best show on a Monday night. That's a fact. Yoshi 504 says, CK got me hot for God. Clips don't define a man. Accountability is not bad. Running from the truth. It's time we address our issues in the community so we can move forward as a people, and God bless. Fahim Jackson in the building says, I don't mind someone crossing the street when they see me, but should we intervene in a bad situation? 6 Foot 8 Aquarius says, I feel Terry about the selective racism because it's black people who have admitted that white men are trouble, but support ball player Paige Buckers because of her connection to black people. Shout out to everybody that support the platform. We appreciate y'all. Y'all ready for the next subject? No? Y'all ready?
We ready.
Let's go.
Because Dalen gonna come back acting like she don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
I just jazz so much, you need to make an opposition, but I have such thick black skin that I can handle it. You all know my stance.
What are you talking about as far as what are you talking about?
Well, I'm just saying you all need someone to have. You need an opposition, so I'll be the bad guy for tonight.
No, you just be
Definitely
you.
interesting.
What are you talking about?
You could just be you. Don't be a victim. Don't be a victim. Don't worry about it. We'll get there. Second thing that we want to talk about is people that are getting fired for their rhetoric that they're spewing online. Let's check this out.
they are so shocked that people don't give a fuck. They're so shocked that even though this person was a Christian, we're not pretending that we don't remember what he said. We're not pretending that he was a good person. We're not pretending. They're shocked because for so long, you couldn't say anything bad about the dead. Oh, don't speak bad about the dead. Well, fuck Charlie Kirk.
I don't know when or if I'll post this, but today's September 15th and it's 9:05 a.m. and yesterday at 5 p.m. I was fired from my job for posting a video saying I don't care about Charlie Kirk's death. In the video that I posted, I specifically said I wasn't celebrating it, but that I just don't care. And yet I was still fired from a job where my role was to increase educational equity to all students. That was my job. That was like, wasn't really just my job, it was like my identity too. I think that's been my whole career. Like, how can we get the highest quality education to as many students? For this job, I worked at a nonprofit where I taught reproductive health to LGBTQ youth and youth in foster care in Dallas, Texas. And like, that was hard, but after I did it, I was so proud of myself, and I told myself I wouldn't go back to a job where like I couldn't be my authentic self, and I thought that's what I had in my job. And actually, the funny thing is I wasn't fired for saying that I don't care about it, because everyone on my team agrees with that, or everyone I've talked to, and people can say that, and I would have been okay to say that in my team chat at work. But I was fired because I was doxxed by someone who knows me, and they posted my job and my LinkedIn to the white supremacists.
So, question is, people are getting fired from their job for negative comments that they've made about Charlie Kirk online. Okay with it, not okay with it. What are y'all thoughts on it? I'm gonna start with Jerry.
Anybody losing their job is something that's serious. So I do hope that she's able to find another job. At the same time, this happened with the whole George Floyd thing in BLM. And I think that because Charlie Kirk was assassinated in the way that he was, and he was essentially one of the good guys on the moderate right, I think that conservatives aren't playing fair. Republicans aren't playing fair anymore. They're tired of being nice about the situation. They're not going to be violent. They're not going to burn things up and, loot and do all of that, but they're going to hit you where it hurts. And unfortunately, that's just the consequence of what happens. Like, you can't say stuff like that, because it wasn't an issue when y'all were inciting violence during BLM. But
this is the same group of people that will find what you said 8 years ago and then try to get you fired over. So I'm not tripping. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, you could lose it.
And the conservatives said that too. They were saying, look, we were never going to stoop to this level, but there's no more playing nice anymore. Like, there's no more, we're going to sit up here and be quiet. The silent majority is starting to speak out more. I think Miss Nikki had mentioned that earlier, with people starting to speak out more about their beliefs and everything. So
I'm concerned. I would want to know the context of why she got fired. Like, what was her role? It sounded like she was like was she a teacher? Because I think that matters.
Exactly. I don't know exactly.
I think that matters. I thought she said she was helping the
teacher.
She kind of just talked in general about how she was working with a nonprofit, working with students, stuff like that.
Well, yeah, a lot of teachers and nurses have been fired, and I think that if you have one of those type of jobs, you're complaining that you got fired, you lost your job over your opinion, but Charlie Kirk lost his life. You can get another job.
I think people don't read what they're signing when they get a job. I'd be curious to know if that was in the contract, right? If it was in the contract, then she deserved to get fired. If it wasn't in the contract and it was on some political move, then I'm not really for somebody getting fired.
Some jobs.
Let me give you a little bit more insight. Reportedly over 1,000 people have been fired for comments about this so far. And there are also people that are paying attention to what people saying on social media, and they sending the clip over to their jobs and stuff like that. So just adding a little bit of context.
I think the context matters. I would like to know why exactly they got? What did they violate? If
I
they
don't.
violated something, I'm all
Morality.
for it. I'm all for them getting fired if they violated something. But if they didn't violate anything,
That's what's
I
wrong with
I
it.
mean,
mean, a company
I don't even think it's that deep.
can fire any employee they want to for any reason. They don't
There
then I'm
you
have
good
to
go.
with it.
have a
yeah.
reason.
As long
Then
as
I'm
it's
good
not
with it.
protected,
So
as long as it's not like ADA,
Then I'm good with it.
HIPAA, FMLA, or anything like that, they can fire for any reason, and you can't sue them for wrongful termination.
Yeah, if you know that going into the job, then that's on you.
If
I
it's
also
a
think,
right to
like,
work
it's
state, you
mostly
can
a
do whatever you
job.
want.
And I
yeah.
believe
I also know. I know for me, I'm in tech, so a big part of where I am now, or just even my past jobs, was due to my social media, like my LinkedIn. Like, companies look at that stuff. They see how influential you are. They look at your followers. They look at that stuff. Even now, like while you're employed, they look at that stuff. And if you're a bad reflection on the company, or you're inciting violence, it doesn't even have to be like, rah rah, we gonna be here at 5 p.m. tonight. If you're doing anything like in that realm of tribalism, I would say, yeah, they're gonna get you out of there, bro.
It's
I
about your
believe that
character.
I believe that this is going to help people to really become less biased in everything. Because people are just so biased on things. They feel so strongly about it, and they're like, I have to say something to the world. They gotta hear me proclaim it at the top of the roof. And it's like, you're literally willing to sacrifice your livelihood, and you don't even know it. Like, that's the type of ignorance that is just outrageous. People need to learn how to be less biased, more willing to hear people out, more willing to accept people's differences, like truly accept people's differences. They want to accept the LGBTQs and, this and that, but they don't want to accept me for not believing the same thing as you. That's the stuff that people really have to start doing. And then
So are you
people will
saying
be
that
able
they
to
shouldn't have gotten fired?
No, heck no. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's a sad thing. If she really didn't know or whatever, I say, it's a very unfortunate thing to figure out what your consequences are without even knowing this was even a consequence.
I think it's a keyboard warrior thing too. It's like you can get behind that keyboard and that screen and
I
say
think you could
all
just say
kinds of
anything.
inflammatory things and think there's no consequence for it. But
Mm-hmm.
if you were face to face with that person, they wouldn't say nearly what they say online.
And then not even just that, E-Train. First of all, wasn't our people doing the same thing to any and every white person or anybody that was speaking against just last year before that, all these other years since the pandemic? They was getting people fired. Cancel culture. There you go. Wasn't they doing that?
The liberals created cancel culture.
Yeah, I find it ironic that these people that are complaining about getting fired about Charlie Kirk for their negative comments don't realize that Charlie Kirk got assassinated for what they deemed negative consequences.
Free speech. And
Right.
Exactly.
That's
I'm
what
not
I
a
was.
the
fan
wildest
of
thing.
I'm not a fan of doxing people. I got to be honest. I've just always been consistent about that. I'm not a fan of calling somebody's job to try to get them fired. I'm just not, and I don't
No,
agree.
because mind your business.
I don't agree with it on both sides. I don't agree with none of that shit. So I don't agree with it when it comes to Democrats doing it to Republicans. I don't agree with it when it comes to Republicans doing it to Democrats. The reason that I don't feel sorry for these people is because you still got to protect yourself no matter what. Like, you got to make sure that you protect the bag. And so that's a you thing. If you didn't read your company's policy, if you decided that you wanted to jump online and say some wild shit, that's on you. However, I'm not in favor of calling. Now, if your job discover it or whatever, even if you get caught up in some shit and somebody sent it, you should have protected yourself. You know what I'm saying? Two wrongs don't make a right, but I am not a fan of, and I never have been a fan of trying to get somebody removed from a job. That's not my thing, personally. That's
Right,
just
right.
a personal thing. So
think when we see the nurses, there were nurses and doctors saying out loud, even in front of their patients, he deserved it. I'm glad he's dead. You cannot be in a medical field. I'm going to tell you now, in the medical field, you take an oath to care for life. Whether that is, I don't care. You can be racist towards me. You can be prejudiced towards me. I took an oath. You need medical treatment, I'm going to give it to you. Even if I think something, you will never hear it. We are living in times where people feel that they have to verbalize and vocalize every opinion. And we as a country are falling from grace. We cannot have American citizens being gleeful and cheerful about one of our fellow American citizens, whether we agree with their political views or not, dying, because you're not just celebrating their death, you are celebrating and encouraging more assassinations or murders for people who have different political ideologies than you. That is dangerous. And I think people are conflating it. So we can't have people that are teaching our children, even a teacher who just showed the Charlie Kirk murder throughout the whole class, replayed it over for 5th and 6th graders. I'm telling you now, if that was my child, you please put some money together for my bail. You know what I mean? Because those children could be traumatized. So I think that most people have to lose their jobs because we cannot trust you to have that mindset and care for people's children and people's health. How do we not know that someone may come into the hospital with a MAGA hat and
that's what people were saying?
Give them glucose and they're not diabetic. They're dead immediately.
Yep. And
so,
there were
I'm
doctors
conflicted
that
about
they wouldn't
this.
save them. They were
I mean,
doctors
that
saying
is scary. I've thought about that. That is.
I'm
scary.
just conflicted
I'm
about
not into
this.
the
I'm not
doctrine.
sure how I feel about this.
Which
I'm
part,
not,
Anton?
Not with the
I'm
doctrine.
conflicted because I don't know. I mean, I live by the principle that you still should be able to support your family. However, I do realize that there are certain jobs where you are affecting the public or you are affecting people's kids and stuff. And so I think that you make a good point on that. But I am still conflicted because I don't think that everybody should have, or I don't think that people should be fired just because they got a different political ideology or a different reaction to an issue than you.
I don't think
Whatever
it's
reason,
about their
I
political
understand.
it's just
ideology.
not making sense to me.
Well,
I was gonna say,
I don't think
Anton,
it's about their
I
political
don't think that's
ideology,
political
though.
ideology, Anton. That is evil.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
just straight up
Maybe
hatred.
that's a
maybe in
bad
type
look
of
on a
those
company.
jobs like hospital stuff. Like I've thought about that when I saw the video about the doctors, the teachers. That's wow. That would put me over the edge. Like
Whenever I hear somebody say something like that, what I try to do is I try to put myself in their shoes, right? And again, let me preface this by saying that I understand that there's consequences that come along with saying what you want to say, because you do not have to pick up the phone, you do not have to hit record, and you do not have to upload it. So I get it. All right. So once we get past that part of it, I don't believe in doxing, right? So I don't believe in going out of my way to try to find out where it is that you work so that I could try to get you fired just because you think differently than me or you reacted differently to me or you even evil, right? I just, for whatever reason, I don't believe in removing somebody's ability to earn. Now, there's been plenty of people that disagree with me, and there's been plenty of people that tried to find out where I worked at when I had a corporate job, and they was never able to do so because I never, ever left the trail. I wouldn't even update my LinkedIn until after I left the company. So I was very careful with how it is that I moved. And I was very careful with all of that. But to say that somebody would say that, oh, Anton is insensitive towards this particular subject, that he live streamed last night, and so he deserved to lose his benefits and ability to feed his family, I can't say that I agree with that. And so if I wouldn't want it done to me, and that's the way that I live my life, if I wouldn't want somebody to do something to me, then that's not something that I would do to somebody else.
When I say doxing, no, I'm thinking about, because I do not agree with doxing, but like I said, those type of jobs, it is scary. And I really didn't think about that to now, but I'm really thinking about doxing where they come into your house, where they threaten your family, like finding out all that kind of stuff.
But that's a part of it, because what I'm seeing and that's the thing. What I'm seeing online is people are putting people's whole addresses. They putting out where people live at, which obviously, you know, so a lot of these people got kids. It's not just where they work and stuff like that. This is beyond all of that. And so that's the thing.
Yeah.
A lot of times people don't acknowledge that you got extremes on both sides. And
Yeah.
so when you got extremes on both sides, it almost turns into, and this is the part that I fear, it's like, so how low is each side gonna go before we just fucking hit hell? You know what I'm saying? Is anybody gonna be like, you know what?
We might be heading to a civil war,
and I don't got time for this. And I'm
oh, it is
because I believe that almost like it's a lot of us that's being distracted away from the real thing that we should be focusing on because we so focused on what everybody else is doing. And so I can't get distracted in that way, bro. And it's like, I get it. I understand that people want war, but goddamn, like, is there a limit? Like, you putting people's addresses online, putting people where you can't put people in danger like that.
No, I mean, that's just one step closer to civil war, in my opinion. I mean, let's just not go there.
Yeah.
I think that the difference, though, with this and how it was before, if Kamala Harris would have won, I don't think that people would have lost their jobs over celebrating Charlie Kirk's death and assassination. I think that ever since Trump got elected, that there was this sort of shift and, you know, holding people accountable, doing all of that. So I think that's part of the reason as well, because realistically, if Kamala Harris was in office right now, I don't think that people would have been getting fired, no matter how extreme it was, because it would have been deemed as acceptable and wouldn't have mattered because now we have who we wanted in office to be in office. But the fact that Trump won re-election after not having a consecutive 2 terms, that on top of everything else has been added to their hate for conservatives and the right. And that is why they are justifying the fact that he was killed in the way that he was killed.
Wait, that part I don't know if I agree with. So you're saying that if Kamala won, then if somebody cheered Charlie Kirk's death,
I don't think that they would have been fired.
But you have to assume that the person that doxed this person was like a Democrat or liberal, right? Because I'm assuming that this person who doxed this woman was probably a conservative.
No, I think that yes, they would have been a conservative, but from my perspective and how I see it is, if Kamala Harris was in office, yes, there would have been people trying to call. There may have been a few people here and there that may have been, you know, fired from being doxxed. But I think that since Trump has inserted a sense of accountability for certain companies and for certain actions not to be acceptable, that they would have ended up.
Okay.
That's
so they're holding accountability. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. To add to what Jerry is saying, I think also the mandate to go back into office and looking at somebody across the hall and knowing that they're celebrating, or you could be on the other side knowing that this person is mourning over somebody they didn't know. It just builds animosity within. So companies are like, hey, we can't have that. We here to be productive, and y'all got to keep what y'all say online to the side. And additionally with that, for some reason, this election, a lot of people's, I don't want to say identity, but whatever the degree is under that was tied to it. It's like when Kamala lost, it's like a lot of liberals were so shell-shocked. It took them months to get over it. And I'm not sure why that is. So yeah, so like I personally feel, I could be very wrong, but I personally feel like, and this is a horrible thing to say, but just seeing the reaction online of the other side, I feel like this man's death was like a victory for them in their hearts. That's the way they were celebrating.
I don't believe
that's truly how they feel.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't even believe most people that are commenting on Charlie Kirk even watched an ounce of what Charlie Kirk was. I think that people just I think that most people that are speaking on it because it's the trendy thing to do, not because they actually gave a fuck or even watch any Charlie Kirk thing at all. And so if you're saying that they're rejoicing in his death, it's just because they deem it's not necessarily because they actually cared for what it is that he stood for or was against what he stood for. I don't believe that shit, bro. And it makes it even dumb it makes it even more dumb for people that get fired, because it's like you got fired over some shit that you didn't even really care about. Yeah. Something that you wasn't even passionate about. You really dumb. Now I see you as, now I understand why you a fool. Now I understand why you out here crashing out and looking like a dummy. Because this wasn't even meaningful to you, but you wanted to put your 2 cents in. That was unsolicited, and you wanted to get your shit off. And so now here you go.
You know, there's a website dedicated to where HR representatives can go. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if the doxing, like personal information, like email address, phone number, address, but there's a website dedicated to people's screenshot, whether it was on TikTok, Facebook, whatever social media. If whatever they found on your social media, they'll screenshot it. And if they have your name, they'll say, okay, well, Sarah Wilson, these are her screenshots that she said, but there is no, I don't know, I can't say that there is no like doxing information, but do we think it's the same thing? Like if there are HR representatives or hiring managers that are like, I wonder if I have any subordinates that have, went against our moral code. Let me go look and see if any of my employees are on this list. And if you find 2 or 3 people, and now you bring them into the HR office, and now you're saying, hey, we're going to have to terminate your employment. Do we think that's like looking at it through the same lens of people going out of their way to make sure
I don't
that
know nothing about these websites or nothing. I'm not familiar.
HR does internal stuff all the time, though. So that, like, they do that all the time, whether it's through their actual systems, whether it's if they have the resources to have an internal system to see what's being said on social media. That's an HR thing. Like they have the capabilities of doing that. If they choose to say, hey, this wasn't brought to me, but let me just go through this list and filter out and see who works for my company. The person who did the list may have doxed them, but the HR representatives that are doing their investigation, just their quarterly whatever, I don't think I think that's just HR doing their job.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't agree with if it's a company itself going through and they're saying this behavior doesn't fit our code of ethics, I agree with that 100%. I have to agree with the doxing, yeah.
So we agree that they should be terminated on the basis if your HR representatives for your company is taking the steps to find out who they actually employ, especially based on what the company in the industry is, versus a complete stranger that is trying to make sure people know your address and hurt you. So I'm just making sure we still agree that you should be terminated, but not, have the situation exacerbated to now we want you fired, but we also want people standing out of your house.
I agree with companies.
I don't believe that everybody should be terminated, though. That's the thing.
I got a question for you.
I think it depends on the jobs, like we stated earlier.
I think it depends on the job too.
Yeah, if you're an early educator, you're in the medical field. I think those are very dangerous jobs for you to have. I
agree. If you an Amazon delivery driver, nigga, get my motherfucking packages. I don't really give a fuck about what your opinion is. I'm not even looking for your empathy or sympathy. Like I really think it depends on the job, honestly.
But if you're Amazon person that's not giving you your packages because of how you feel and your political beliefs, I wouldn't want them working for Amazon. They slowing down productivity.
I don't think it goes
and
that
everything. They're bad. They're bad for the brand. They're bad for the company.
Though.
I don't think the majority.
I mean, but you would call, but you could call at that point and just complain about your packages not being delivered.
Right.
Now,
they're not going to know your political beliefs, I wouldn't think, just from delivering.
Y'all go into the coffee shop and I see these cupcakes and I see sassy men, and I don't necessarily agree with their lifestyle. That motherfucker make a mean latte. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care, nigga, what you got going on in your own life.
They slapping these wigs on like ain't nobody business.
Most people say what they say online and go back to their regular lives. Like, I don't think most people are withholding packages, trying to figure out which side you're leaning. I don't think most people are doing that.
We should be worried about people withholding you medical treatment, withholding our children the proper curriculum education, our therapists who are, holding the responsibility of treating mental.
No, I think that the therapists could do what they want to do because it's your responsibility to vet the person that you seeking therapy from. That ain't got nothing to do. Listen, most people that I see, that's so funny that you mentioned that, because of all the professions of people that are supposed to be professional that I see online, therapists are the most fucked up people that I see online.
I agree with
I
that.
regularly see therapists that's crashing out. They weird as fuck. Like the therapists are some of the dumbest people that I've ever seen in my entire life. So, if you but see, that's the thing. Like, even as a business holder, people can choose whether or not they want to do business with you or not. I hate doxing. I see businesses getting doxed. Like, I'll give you an example. This is why it's so dangerous, because most people don't even have no kind of, they just take anybody's word the same way that people taking Charlie Kirk's words out of context. Some people are taking other stuff out of context. So I'll give you an example. I've seen some people get online, Instagram, TikTok, and they like, hi, my business is, the Ninja's electric business. The one that y'all are trying to find is the Black Ninja electric business. And so y'all going online, y'all going through the Google reviews, and y'all fucking up my business. And I don't even know nothing about this. I don't have nothing to do with what it is that y'all talking about. And so people start attacking the wrong person, but you can't get that back. You messed up their business, you messed up their money, you messed up a lot of stuff. And so we don't talk about all of the nuances. We don't talk about all of the other businesses that's closely named similar to the ones that they name, and people go in there and they give them a bunch of bad reviews. It's a lot of moving parts that go into that. And so I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? We don't take that part into consideration. You messed up somebody else's business because somebody said that they did some research and it wanted to be in the wrong place or something. I don't agree with that shit.
That goes back to what Miss Nikki said earlier. These people are dumb. They don't know how to read. They don't know how to think.
Those are also people that's on the right that's doing that.
Yeah, the doxing.
But that's the thing. It doesn't matter what their label is. The label don't matter. It's literally the person. People are putting these titles on themselves. Oh, I'm a Democrat. Oh, I'm a Republican. Oh, I'm this, oh, I'm that. And it's like, oh, well, I like what Trump said right here. You automatically get a title. It's like title. That has nothing to do with the person. If the person is dumb, they're dumb. If they can't think past two, they can't think past two. If they were autistic all their life and now they're in the public, that's just what it is. And that's all we're dealing with is special people, special ways, special days. That's it.
I have a question. Does this logic apply to the Office Depot situation where the girl got fired because she didn't want to print the poster because she felt like it was propaganda?
No, that's just going against company guidelines.
And then
that's different. Yeah.
So for a private, if you're an employee of a private corporation and like you were to get doxxed and you lost your job, is that different from like if a company itself gets doxxed? Like,
she wasn't doxxed. What happened with her was she refused to do her job. She wouldn't print what they were supposed to print. Now, the way that it was explained to me, right, because I did a little bit of research, was let's say somebody come in and they say, I want to print a bunch of stuff, or I want to print this, or I want to print that. There's certain things that they can't print, they could refuse. Like if somebody trying to print a child porn or some shit like that, stuff like that, they got to report to the authorities. But she didn't print it just because she didn't agree with this dude and what he was printing, which was basically, a vigil, like a flyers for a vigil for Charlie Kirk. No, you didn't do your job. You're supposed to be objective about what you are, regardless of whether you agree or you disagree. You're supposed to be objective and print that goddamn stuff. And so she got fired justifiably because she wasn't doing her job and she let her political ideology get in the way of her doing her job. That's completely different than doxing somebody.
She called it
what they believe.
And they already paid for it too. So now you're not fulfilling a service after somebody paid just because you think that it's political propaganda when it's a vigil sign.
Yeah. Fire.
If I work for a dealership and, I may not necessarily agree with somebody's lifestyle, but they want to buy a car and I'm working for somebody else's dealership, sell the car.
Mm-hmm.
You can do whatever you want on your time, on with your own business, but you can't refuse to do what you're supposed to do at the job that you at just because you don't necessarily care for what somebody else stands for or what it is that they like.
So does that apply to my earlier example about the Amazon worker who didn't want to deliver your package because,
No, he got to do. He got to do
You
his
happen
job.
to have a Trump sign on your lawn, and they didn't want to
He
deliver
got to
your
do his
package. Just
job.
that.
Well, the thing is, the Office Depot, it was recorded. That's why it's always important to record these type of instances, because people will say, I didn't say that, I didn't do that. The camera is gonna tell the truth. So if you're outside and you see an Amazon worker walking off with your package, you're like, hey, this is my house. I'm not giving you your package, you Trump supporter or you Kamala supporter, and I'm not giving you nothing. You come pick it up from the pickup station. And if you're recording that, then you can say, okay, well, this person needs to be fired. But you can't assume that if you have like the American flag, I got one outside my house, or a Trump sign, how would you know that they're not a Trump supporter too, or they're just a butthole? So it's like, it's important to have those things that can substantiate and back up a claim that somebody did something because of. You need to have
the distinction is whether or not they did their job or not.
Yeah.
So the intention matters, is what y'all saying.
The distinction is if they're doing their job. It shouldn't matter what the political beliefs are. They just need to do their job at the full efficiency.
The idea is just you got to remove your emotions and do your job.
Back to what Dalen was saying about the medical field, the nurse that turned in the doctor who said something about celebrating Charlie Kirk's death in front of a patient. She went to HR, turned him in, and she is the one who got laid off without pay.
Well, she got.
I did see that. I seen that.
Indefinitely.
That's messed up.
Yeah, pending an investigation. So
yeah,
they said they didn't fire her, but what do you think when you're suspended indefinitely
without pay?
Without pay. So it's like, so yeah, she's opening up a lawsuit.
So she was fired for reporting.
Yeah, for reporting a doctor.
She was basically being retaliated against.
Basically,
and see, that's illegal. So that's actually
I agree.
A lawsuit.
Yeah.
So. And she needs to cut me a check because I ain't got no job.
She lawyered up. She was just on Fox News. She lawyered up.
Oh, good. I saw somebody saying something about my corny hat. This is one that Charlie Kirk signed when Trump won the election. I don't know if you can see it. It's right there.
Wow.
So that's why I'm wearing it.
They're not Charlie to flex Kirk. Or nothing.
Yeah, that's different.
That's a big flex. Go ahead.
He said not to flex or nothing, but my hat is signed.
It's different when you're being retaliated against.
Yes, it is.
I don't know. I'm still conflicted because I don't feel sorry for these people, especially ones that got positions where, you have to have better ethics and characters and morals to do the job and do the position. So I'm not like conflicted as far as like feeling bad for the people, but I still don't like the whole idea of doxing. I just don't agree with doxing overall in general. Under no circumstances.
I agree with that because I'm not gonna act like I don't think about that with what I do and where I work and the type of people I work around and then the things I actually say online. So I try to keep that separate because I work for a nonprofit. I work for a men's shelter, so I work a certain type of job, but I don't know. I think we just need to get to the point where we have to, like you said, like even what Dalen was talking about, this has shown me like, you know what, as far as I'm concerned, as long as we on the right side of this, on the God side of this, we cannot go wrong. Mm-hmm. Revelations already talked about this. This is a spiritual war. I just can't help but to look at it no other way. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at and I don't have no other words for them. They're demons. When he showed me that video, look at their eyes. All these videos we see, look how dark they are. Look at their hair. Look at Anton, the septum ring. I didn't even really trip off that until I remember Anton bringing that up a while back. I'm like, damn, that's a thing. I had to check my daughter, like, girl, let me look at your nose. Let me make sure there ain't nothing going on. But the kids. It's an indoctrination, and I did want to just kind of read something right quick because we live in this time. So I was looking up at 2 Timothy, and I'm gonna just kind of do 3-4. And we talking about the last days and these kids, and this is all the youth. It's an attack on them, and that's why Charlie Kirk got killed. Mm-hmm. Charlie Kirk got killed because his message reached people, not for the message. It's because it was effective. 2 Timothy 3, but understand this, that in the last days there will come times of difficulty For people will be lovers of self, lovers of money, proud, arrogant, abusive, disobedient to their parents. These are all our kids. Ungrateful, holy, heartless, unappeasable, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not loving good, treacherous, reckless, swollen with conceit, and lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. And I'm going to stop there. This is a spiritual war, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And until that is addressed and we start getting God back in this households, family, and I'm not necessarily saying the church, I can understand how the church has disappointed us. The pastors have hurt us, disappointed us, lied to us, not taught the book right, not gave us real solutions, answers, anything like that. But get your own relationship with him. Read that book, get into it yourself, because this time ain't no straddling the fence right now. It's a wrap for us.
Now you have to be scared of being a Republican walking down the street. Now you don't know if you're wearing your MAGA hat, like I don't know if you wear that hat to the grocery store or to the post office. Like, how do you not know someone's gonna follow you? And it's like,
right.
But you can't.
Ain't nobody scared of these people. They're more scared of themselves. I wear a MAGA hat straight into a sports arena. I sat right down on the court, sports arena, MAGA hat and all, right in the middle of an election, and ain't nobody say nothing to me.
You want to
like
know the
for
crazy
me, some
part?
things I feel like I don't want to really just go into, like I said, especially where I'm at, unless I'm in a position, and I like to say F you money, to where I can kind of just move away, do my thing, not move away, but just from where I'm at, do my own thing and not have to kind of worry about. So that financial freedom piece, that's why it's important for believers. I don't know why they push that poor stuff in the church, but for believers to have, and he will bless you with that income, but you got to do what's right with it. So that's what I'm believing in. You work towards it, and you don't have to depend on these demonic systems that we living in. But I do see hope, though. That post about the church made me have a little bit of hope.
So I got a question to follow up on what you said, Nick, and it's for everybody on the panel. If you've seen it, you too, Anton. Today, well, yesterday I was busy at church. We had a huge play called All Nations Sunday. But today, when I was on social media, I saw a lot of Black pastors saying the exact same thing. And it made me think, like, man, are these people being handed what to say?
Are they saying the same thing? Like what? What are they saying?
Pretty much condemning Charlie Kirk, what he taught, saying he was spewing hate, sowing discord in the nation. He wasn't a Christian. He's not a martyr. They all had the same talking point.
I saw the opposite.
I think churches know their target audience too.
I saw both.
So this is my point. This is my point, right? I saw, so kind of like the first video, I saw Black pastors with huge churches saying one thing. Then I saw white people with huge churches saying the opposite. And I was wondering, I don't know if anybody's ever seen the movie like They Clone Tyrone, but that's what it made me think of, because I know a lot of people don't read their Bible. A lot of people didn't listen to Charlie Kirk. They only saw the excerpts. And even some of the Black pastors were mispronouncing Charlie Kirk's name. They were just saying Charles Kirk was right. And I was like, you don't even know the man's name. And so it just made me think, like, man, are these people getting paid in mass to push a message to a certain demographic for a certain result?
Well,
Terry just said it. They know their audience.
Yeah, you can't mess up the offering.
Yeah, they know their audience.
And then people have to understand as well that even the devil knows the Bible. Even the devil can recite, whatever scripture. They can get up there and have a sermon. They can get up there and have a class or a youth Sunday or a Bible study or a choir rehearsal or whatever the case may be. But that doesn't mean that they're righteous in what it is that they're teaching. And it's so funny how a lot of the Black churches that are mainly of single Black women, single mothers, they're the ones that are condemning Charlie Kirk, saying that he wasn't a Christian man, but he put faith and family above anything else. He made sure that he married the love of his life. He had 2 kids. He was into the church. He was Protestant into the church. He was making sure that he was trying to teach that. I think somebody said that earlier as well, that yes, he was in his faith, but he was also applying it to daily life and how it is from a conservative perspective. So it's just very telling and very funny that Black pastors like a Jamal Bryant, who's out there cheating on his wife, having multiple kids out of wedlock, sitting up there hooting and hollering, had Kamala Harris having Kamala Harris up there behind the pulpit, a sacred place. It's like anybody who's still following some of these pastors, like you have to look at their life and what it is that they're doing.
They're lost.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get that. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You can get
I think the whole problem is, I was gonna say, I think the whole entire issue is that people depend too much on these pastors and people that are in leadership, and they're not even going to themselves and talking to themselves and like, look, we need to get this shit together. Like nobody's really trying to deal with themselves. They don't even like being by themselves. They don't even look in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? So when people are like really trying to hold them accountable, it makes it way, way, way more difficult because they have so much suppressed issues going on that they just keep covering up with, like alcohol, drugs, wigs, whatever.
That I've seen is just a big social club too. It's just, you want to be accepted by what everybody else is saying. So it's just a big club to me.
I think, they believe if you have a microphone, then you must be telling the truth. Yeah. Like
I have one more thing to say as well. I know a lot of people were saying about the comments as far as what he said about MLK, and I'm still doing my own deep dive on what it is exactly that he said. But to say that Charlie Kirk wasn't a good man because he spewed hate and saying that he wasn't a Christian, even though it essentially was the personification of what a good Christian family man was. And the things that have come out, and I'm not negating anything that MLK has done, the things that have come out about MLK and how he was cheating on his wife and how he was certain ways, it's like, are you going to keep that same energy across the board? Not saying that MLK wasn't a significant civil rights leader, not saying none of that, but you have to keep the same energy. That's all I'm saying.
Because any other day, they'll sit there and tell their best friend, you need to leave him. He ain't no good. He this, he that, et cetera, et cetera. Like people don't play fair across the board. Yeah. MLK, even when it comes down to music, you want to sit here and say that Charlie is this terrible, evil, wicked person, but yet you're listening to Gates. You're listening to, people that have actually killed people, really real life bodies. You know what I'm saying? Like K-Dot. I love K-Dot. He got bodies. He talks about it. It's so many other people that are sitting there talking about guns and doing all this other stuff. And you gonna sit there and ride with them way quicker, and you gonna get mad at Charlie Kirk. And he's evil, he's this, he's that.
Because so far what I've seen, I don't agree with what I've seen. I still have to do the deep dive because people have been sending me stuff. I don't agree with what he said about MLK. But then if you actually sit and think, it's like you can't say what is defined as hate? Telling the truth? Holding people accountable? Is that defined as hate? Saying that, look, Black people, y'all have 25% or less of y'all Black girls and boys that are growing up in 2-parent households.
Like that's a fact.
Yeah. If you can't come back with facts or to counteract what he's saying, and you're just saying he's racist, like we already know what's up.
Black people think that if you're white, you can't speak on our issues because it's not that if you're speaking on it, then it's because you're happy about it. I think they think that if you're any other race, then you're calling out our problems because you're trying to exacerbate how low value we are, how this, that, and the third, instead of looking at it like, well, a true racist would be quiet so you can kill each other in peace, so you cannot raise your children at all. Why would they interfere with the very thing that they need you to do because they're racist? A real racist would not risk their life. Charlie talked about it weeks before it happened. He knew this was going to happen. Maybe not exactly, but hearing him say it, like, it's like, oh my God, it's going to happen. So it's like, stop assuming that if somebody cares enough to say, hey, this is the problem that you have. I want to see you do better. I will help you. When someone doesn't want to be helped, they will reject it and they will blame you for it. So I think that's where we are, and that he was not assassinated because he was white. I see some comments like that. It was a political assassination. And the comparison between MLK and him is because they were both strong individual voices who were effective to a mass of people that you needed under an umbrella of regression, stagnation, and just nothing. So that's why they are compared. They were effective, and when you are effective in America, you will be shot and murdered. Lincoln, Ulysses Grant, who else? MLK,
JFK.
It's like everybody was on the side of wanting Black people to be treated like other people instead of getting handouts and be treated equal. They end up dead. I can't name you a Democratic leader from the last 100 years that has been assassinated because of their political beliefs. I could be wrong, but I don't know their name. So that's that.
All right, let me read the super chats. We got to get to the next part of the show. So what now? Somebody say something? All right. Desh says people need to spend time learning the difference between classism, prejudice, racism, and sexism. Words do matter, and it's kicking ass right now. Aldrin, appreciate you. Willie Pilly says they're treating Charlie Kirk like he was Nick Fuentes. Max says one Bible verse destroys these fake Christians. 2 Timothy 2:15. Ara Smitty says that sound like poetic justice. Zero Fallout 1 says these are the same people canceling others for over 10 years for less. Now they want to claim victimhood. Disgusting part is many of these people are teaching your kids. Less Lost and Found says you have the right to free speech. You don't have freedom from consequences. That's a fact. Blast Radius says, as for Kirk's views on the Black community, he just sees what everyone else sees, including Black folks, and was not afraid to talk about it when questioned on it. Should he die over that? I don't think so. Yoshi 504 says, how do we apply for the panel? You got to contact Q. Hit up Island Girl Q in her DMs. Dizzy says, if a student said bad things online about another student, there would be consequences. Protocols and meetings for counselors, teachers aren't exempt. Blast Radius says, fact that certain Black people were crying about Kirk's views on the Black community just shows me how weak and triggered they get. People have a right to be critical, and you counter that with words, not bullets. Zamira says, hello, Anton in the panel. The left started cancel culture. We are canceling cancel culture and bringing back consequence culture. Mark Pyers, tax coach, says, I don't agree with what those people said. However, I believe in freedom of speech. They didn't promote violence. They simply expressed how they felt. Shouldn't have been fired. Shout out to you, Mark Pyers. Descendants of Loki says, just one step closer to our social credit score. Black Fiasco says, in 2025, if you don't know, your conduct on social media can get you fired. No one can help you at this point. Zamira says, Kamala Harris is a trans. She for sure is down with this ideology. That's why Candace Owens' investigating reporting proved her autobiography is lies, and her mother ran the MK Ultra program. RM says, despite we all are entitled to our own opinion. There's a right and wrong. Said individual should be fired for per respective company. We need order. Two things can be true, says, oh man, y'all got that. Okay. Two things can be true, says, I thought Nikki was Michelle Obama at first. Sky Dweller TV says they refuse to print photos at the Office Depot. Josh says the entitlement of enjoying the freedoms to do and say what we want mixed with the ideology of my emotions and feeling matter over any and everything else is a dangerous mix. Cashflow Hustle says, Anton, remember Joe Biden refusing hurricane aid to rural North Carolina MAGA country? Hoffenheim says, rest in peace, Charlie. Tamara says, Anton, I thank God for your content. Hello, panel. Great show, Dalen. I love your customer service voice. Just kidding, girl. God bless you all. Shout out to you, Tamara. Lasher Deviance Gaming says, as a non-believer, 2 Timothy is my favorite chapter in the Bible. Keep these women pastors out of the pulpit. They thirst trapping in the pulpit. That's pretty diabolical. 81 million votes says, I'm noticing the same people who celebrated Kevin Samuels' death are also celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. Spokey Spear None says, wasn't TD Jakes asking mother effers if they ever been swallowed up? I don't think he gonna help much. What? Matthew 12 and 36 through 37, look it up. Charlie Kirk was unalive because of his mouth. 6'8" Aquarius says, I'm gonna sum this up for the panel. Charlie has been called everything but a liar, and that makes him a legend. Tony A says, Quaker religion is attacking the Christian value in America. Feminism and pride start with that religion. Gerald Sparrow says, y'all need to look up Vince Ellison video about MLK. Hoffenheim says, ninjas are sheep. They love to stay in the welfare system, and Charlie didn't want that. He wanted the ninja become more independent from the government. Mills says, white on white crime. This ain't our fight. Black people. LOL. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for continuing to hold me down. Are you guys ready for the next subject? All right.
Yep. Let's do it.
Can I say something about that last super chat real quick? That's so ignorant and stupid to say, because when it was BLM, y'all wanted everybody to fight a fight that wasn't necessarily theirs.
No, to be so honest, my aunt in LA, she lost her whole freaking business. She was a martial artist, and she had a whole shop that got burnt down because of all that stupid junk that was going on. And she's Black. Like,
Like, I don't know, that stuff like that is weird, because I'm telling you, they were saying silence is violence. You have to speak about it. But now you're saying this isn't, Black people, this isn't our fight.
Oh, that's a good t-shirt. Charlie Kirk face that say silence is violence.
Like, it's just Black hypocrisy on display. Like every instance that we talk about, it just shows how, the Black community, Black culture are hypocrites. And all in all, like, it's never consistent. The logic is never consistent. Like, if you're Black and you try to hold the community accountable, you're a coon, you're Uncle Tom. If you're white, you're racist. If you're any other group of people, you're racist. So nobody can say anything to us about us.
And then it could be our fight, because unless, I know I personally received death threats, rape threats, all that stuff for just saying that I voted for Trump. So it's really it's a fight against free speech. Like, you're literally being assassinated for freedom of speech. That can affect anybody. That could affect from the extreme left to the extreme right and everything in between. It's everybody's fight. It just so happens that the face of what we can see, and during our time, an actual assassination on live camera, not something that, like a JFK or MLK that's brought out decades later. We saw this in real time actually happen. I'm like, I think y'all are missing the plot. Some of y'all are really.
I think they're just desensitized to violence. Like, they're desensitized, so they don't care that he got shot in the neck in front of hundreds of people. They don't care about those facts. Like, those facts are not registering to them. They don't care. And
I think about all the kids that was there.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Before y'all jump in, let me introduce the subject. I'm about to play a video.
We're sorry.
45 seconds, and then we coming right back with the question.
I have cut off people that I have known well over 10 years. This really did it for me, guys. Let me remind you that we are all adults and we can cut people off. No explanation needed. I am not one to post my political opinion online. That's just not who I am. I don't like controversy, but this one really did it for me. I don't care who you are, who you voted for. If you are making fun of someone's death, cracking jokes, and trying to compare it to other situations, you're done. You're out of my life. You all can go and sit and be evil together. I don't want to see your face.
So, with that being said, is this a big enough issue to where y'all would actually leave behind some friendships, some lifelong, some lucrative or whatever? Is this a big enough issue to you guys to where you are okay with leaving some friendships behind or leaving a group of people behind?
Yes. I've been thinking about it, but I haven't done it yet. But I am really considering a couple of. I'm really because I'm very heartbroken and disappointed because it's almost like I thought I knew who you were.
Yeah. Would you feel this way if something happened to me and you knew I believe what he believed? Like, is
That's
it weird?
but I said that to one of them because I'm like, wait a minute now. They know that I think different from them on a lot of stuff. So to me, that makes me feel like you would literally celebrate, but I don't think you would, or would you? You get what I mean? Like, come on, man. That so I haven't hit launch
I think
because
it
I do
goes.
believe in people, but I'm just like, do I even need that on my timeline? But I also, but this is my personal social media, so this is not nothing connected to my because like I said, I try to keep that separate. So these are people that's my friends on this Facebook account, and I only accept people that I know. So I don't have that many, just people
That's
I
what I'm
know or
saying.
connect to other people. I don't know. I'm thinking about it, but I'm just trying to see. I don't know.
Are we talking about the ones that think that are okay with him actually, like, I'm sorry, celebrating his death? Is that what, or just?
Well, so they won't come out because they kind of cowards. So they won't come out and blatantly say that, but it's all these reasons, innuendos, all the things we talked about tonight. Well, now one of them going even harder right now. So it's and this is someone that I am really close with. But there's a lot of stuff I've been seeing over time. But this thing right here, as much as you talk about God, and I just really don't play like that. So as much as you talk about God and you want to put him in everything you do, you want to blame him for the haters because you elevate all this silly stuff. But then something like this happened. And it's weird, bro.
Yeah. No, I'm asking, like, are we talking about the issue being that the people that are being walked away from are the ones that are cheering his death, or are we talking about people that? Okay. Then I think that it's.
I just don't need that kind of hate in my life.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it on my Facebook page. I don't want to see it on my X account. If you're going to be that kind of evil and that kind of mean, I just don't have any use for it.
I think those type of. Go ahead, Jerry.
And with that being said, too, I know some people may be like, well, because I know I lost friends when I said that I came out and I voted for Trump. Even though I had been conservative, I had made the switch years prior to that, voted, was a registered Democrat at the time and voted for a Republican governor. Even though I said all that, people still couldn't believe that I voted for Trump. And I still remain friends with some people. Even if there were, like, we would have political discourse, we would send articles back and forth to each other. It wasn't an issue for me. But to celebrate somebody's death, whether you agree with them or not, that was like, oh, you have a demonic spirit in you. That was it's not even the fact that you're liberal. I still have most of my friends, are liberal because, like I said, we were able to get past the differences and able to have a conversation. But it's the fact that y'all are happy and y'all cheer and be like, oh, well, he got what's coming to him. Oh, he got popped in. Oh, he did this. It's like, well, dang, how would you feel if that was me? Like, I'm not even going to my alma mater in a few weeks for anything because y'all were sending threats to me. Y'all don't agree with me. And y'all are the same people on the internet cheering that somebody that I agree mostly with just got assassinated. And the reason why he got assassinated. And then I'm getting told, oh, Jerry is different. You're a Black woman. How is it different? We agree the same thing.
Yeah, I feel y'all. But for me, I have a completely different approach, and that's only because the way my husband has like coached me through so many different situations in my life. I used to be like that, but I don't even waste my time even worrying about if I should cut somebody off or not, because I've realized people really just remove themselves. And like you see it in real life when you just are you and you keep speaking, you don't stop, and you say your piece and go about your business, people will remove themselves. Like, so it's really no point of me having to leave a friendship behind. Like, no, I'm gonna leave that door open because there's always room for change. People can always change. People's ideas change every single freaking second. Like, people don't really know what they want, you know, until they actually go after a particular thing. So for me, I'm just like, okay, whatever. You don't like what I'm saying or whatever. We got discourse, like Jerry was saying. Like, I definitely have a lot of that.
I would
But I
actually,
mean, it's only the fit stick around. You know what I'm saying? Like, I even have like my best friend. You know, we had a discourse or whatever yesterday about it, and she was just like, you know what? I apologize if I made you feel like I shut you down or made you feel like your words don't matter. You know, please forgive me. You know, and I'm like, see, that's a real that's my girl. You know what I'm saying? But it's so hard to find people like that. So I don't even care. Like, if you like what I say, cool. You don't, then you know where to go. You know exactly where the door is. I'm not gonna open it for you. That's too
I
much
would,
energy.
I would actually do a
Yeah, I
little bit of
think
that because
I'm not really taking it personal. If somebody is that diabolical and says, yeah, he should have died, I don't really take it personal. So therefore, I don't really see myself like saying I can't be your friend. I mean, because again, that's not personal. I don't take it personal.
there's no one that would be in my circle that would think like that regardless. So it's like most of the people that I do see is just like, you know, distant. There's a layer or two removed from being, you know, a friend of mine. But like then I can view that person differently. But there's no one, you know, in my specific circle where I'd be like, damn, I don't know you think like that. Like, you know,
What if it
I'm in the same.
was? What if it was?
If there was, I would be. It would be more of a conversation of.
I'm sorry. What did you
I'm
say?
sorry. There's no one like. I said there's no one like in my immediate circle that would think like that. Regardless, like that's just not the people I would be around that would celebrate someone's death. But to Anton's question, if it was, it'd just be a question of like, is it because you're misinformed, or is it because you actually are celebrating this person's death because of what they said? And if that's the case, then yeah, I think that's worth cutting someone. That's a deep moral flaw. That's a deep character flaw. I think that's worth cutting
Is
off a
it
friendship.
dependent? Is y'all saying this dependent on how close the person is to you or no?
I think
see, it's easy to cut off somebody that's casual that you don't really talk to or whatever, so on and so forth. But it's much different when you're talking about a parent, a best friend for a long time, you know, whatever, right? A family member. Is it dependent on who it is that you're close to?
For me, it would be the depth of what you said. Like if you're celebrating this person's death, that's a whole different issue. If you're just misinformed, you're like, oh, this guy was a racist, and then we have a conversation, you're like, oh, okay, I didn't see that this way, or I didn't see the context of it. But if it's the celebration of death, because regardless of whether you believed he said it or didn't, I think that's a moral character flaw, and I'll be shocked to, you know, be like, damn, I don't know that's the type of person you were the whole time.
I don't know, because I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I think for me, it's more so about it depends on the relationship, like who you are to me, and the severity of our relationship. So like parent, best friend, things of those natures. I think I would take it upon myself to actually have that conversation and like really like, okay, why are you saying this? Now, if you're like a friend of a friend,
That might
an
be a female thing,
acquaintance. You said what?
That might be a female thing.
I don't know. I just don't. I think I would want to have the conversation. I just wouldn't remove somebody out of my life like that without even giving them the courtesy. Like, I feel like for me, it's like a courtesy to have that conversation, not just like put that on their character, but in that conversation, if you're detailing to me that you're actually celebrating and or glorifying the death of another human being,
I get what you're
like
saying.
once I solidify that fact, yeah, it's nothing else for us to talk about.
Y'all not going to talk to nobody.
Yeah, I don't know.
Especially you, Aaliyah, because you.
That's what I mean. There's nobody in your.
You up all the time. You like, oh, it's up from here.
I'm just saying, it depends on who you
looking
are
to
to me.
extend no
Like, I'll have the
conversation.
conversation with you.
I'm not, because they already said what they said. So with what I'm thinking about, and as we talking about it, because when we first said it, I was like, I don't know, but as I'm thinking about it, like actually, what value do you add to my life? I actually ain't hung out with you in a few months anyway.
Yeah, like
Like,
all of that
you know
matters.
what I mean? So you're
No,
like,
no,
you
I
know
got,
what
I
now?
got a
don't
better,
think anyone
I
is
got a
shocked
better
when they
question
see
for you,
someone
Nick.
like
I
that.
got a better
Go a
question
little
for
too
you,
far.
Nikki. Nope, this is a good one. Matter of fact, let me start with the guys. You're not gonna hit it because yeah, you're not gonna hit it because she said she did what she did.
Game is game. Game is game.
Wait.
Oh, wait, hold
You'll
on. That's
swap,
specific.
you'll swap like
Hold
bodily fluids with
on.
a demon.
Wait,
Are
hold
y'all
on. With
still
this,
going through with it
Nope.
or no?
Nope.
with this specific example, or do
Yeah.
you mean like a difference of political ideologies?
You scrolled up her timeline. She about to come over. You probably gonna have her come over tonight or this week. And you scrolled up and you see her celebrating. You hitting it or no?
No. Like I said, that's a deep
Are you
moral
passing up
flaw.
on
Yeah.
Box?
That's a character flaw. That's crazy,
I'm just
Box.
asking.
Political P. That's funny. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all.
I'm just
Men don't
asking.
care if you go to the doctor, so why would they care about your political beliefs? They don't even ask you what's your gynecologist's name. When the last time you seen your OB? When the last time you let me see the back of your toilet? They don't even care about the stuff they should care about. Why would y'all care about their political views? Y'all don't even know these women's last names some of the time. So why would that matter?
Celebrating death is a
Real.
little different.
It is.
That's a little different. That's a character flaw. That's a more deep moral character flaw. That's a little different. Now, if you're a leftist, your hair pink, you celebrate, that's free game right there.
You draw the line at celebrating death. Just that.
I hope you would too. Yeah.
RM.
It's a good question.
You got to think about it a little bit. Yeah.
It depends on how fine.
I'm glad you didn't just answer
really
right
though.
away. You thought about it.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, it depends on how fine she is.
Gotta respect the honesty.
Okay, she Jerry fine.
I
no.
So
Don't answer
I
that.
plead the fifth.
I don't want y'all to make it
Plead the
personal.
fifth.
For my girl, I
I
plead the
want
fifth.
y'all to make it personal.
But I'm just gonna answer.
Because baby, look,
I'm gonna answer in general. I don't think men would care. I don't think any man would care.
Well, let's find out. Mario, would you go through with it or no? Mario, you there?
I'm ultra conservative and Christian, so I'm not doing nothing until marriage. But to answer the question in general, like RM said,
Wait a minute. I'm sorry.
90%.
Hold on. Back up for a minute.
Yeah.
You said you ultra conservative and Christian and what?
Wait until marriage. So like this doesn't apply to me right now.
Is that your current state?
Yeah, I'm engaged right now.
Hey, listen, man. Congratulations, bro. Congratulations. I ain't got nothing negative to say about that at all. That's cool. That's dope.
Kudos to you.
Look,
That's awesome.
skip him.
Yeah.
Skip him.
Congratulations on the engagement.
Thank you.
Yes. Keep the families alive.
There you go. That's
what's
the big.
up, bro.
That's the big thing. So
All right, go ahead,
I'll
Mario.
answer it. I'll answer it from me personally, and I'll answer it in general. If I didn't live by my convictions that I have, it would be a no for me, because I would be very careful who I lay with, because I know it's a potential that you may get pregnant, and children are a big deal to me, and I don't want my kids being split in their beliefs and we going back. It's a lot. But just answering the question in general, like RM said, most men, they're gonna hit. And then it's just, I don't even think it's post-nut clarity at that point. I think they just, they still cool with it.
That's not good.
All right, that's what's up. Go ahead, ladies. I want to hear your thoughts.
Oh, no.
I don't think that that's entirely true.
You don't think what's true?
That men that men will still go ahead and go through with it, because I think that it may depend on how lukewarm you are with it. Like if you're outwardly conservative, you let it be known like, hey, you got your MAGA hat, you support Trump. These men are not rocking with that if they're not moderate or conservative. Like they're just not.
They're not rocking with it?
No.
So if a man sees a woman with the Trump hat on, but he's conservative or he's liberal, he's not going?
No.
Liberals like conservative women.
Thank you. I was trying not to go there.
From my personal experience,
Yes, it is.
Not
true.
conservative women.
Not true.
I never explained.
Liberal. You said liberal men like conservative women?
Yeah, they want that type of, either that or they like men. It's either or.
That's what I was about to say. Liberal men like conservative men.
I'm about to say they fancy.
I'll say for me and what I experienced personally, like when everything was happening with prior to the election, people didn't know how conservative I was. I wasn't as vocal about it. So it was just like people would talk about Trump with it. I just wouldn't say anything. But once I came out and I was wearing the MAGA hat and I was at inauguration and I was all this, they was like, oh, I cannot F with you. Cute, you cool, but I can't rock with you. That's what it was. Now, me personally, I would not date a liberal man.
Why not?
I couldn't. No way.
Why not?
It's like
they low-key gay.
Yeah, you're
in my opinion,
I
it's
always think in the back of my head that my man might be sleeping with another man.
Girl,
I'd kill myself. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not nothing I ever want to have to second guess. Like that's not funny. That's not funny. I don't even find that. I feel like that's a threat on my life. You know what I'm saying?
I also feel like that the liberals and conservatives are so far apart now, and so it's like a whole ideology, moral compass thing that is just like you're just asking for trouble, in my opinion.
Man, it ain't just trouble.
You on a date, so you don't
asking
care if
for
get cut up.
You asking for 50-50.
No.
You asking for a partner. You asking for somebody who gonna ask you for some money and things of that nature. I don't like nothing about that. I never wanted. I don't.
I hear you.
You're not giving up no money? You ain't gonna give up no money?
It has to be my choice. So I have to want to, like, I have to be in my mind like, I want to do this. Not because you come text my phone like, yo, babe, can you hold what? You know
money.
what I'm saying? I just don't.
Money.
Who should pay for dinner on a first date?
Who should pay for dinner?
The man. That's what Charlie
Kirk was saying.
Well, I don't necessarily agree with everything that Charlie said. So it's a little bit.
It depends on who asks to.
I'm not sure that a man should take a woman out to eat on the first date. That's why, first of all.
We should do something active.
And it depends on it depends on a woman. Like
100%. 100%.
Nah. It's a lot of simping out here. That's all I gotta say about that.
Okay, well, Anton, we all need somebody.
It's a lot of simping out here. It's a lot of payments going around out here for food. I don't like that. So we're gonna have to make sure that we back that up.
Yeah, we like to eat. I don't know what you talking about.
Okay.
You better eat before you go outside.
I feel like dinner is awkward.
You better eat before you leave the house.
You said make a sandwich before the date. That is crazy.
You ain't ate all day? Is that what you're saying?
Put the fries in the bag.
That sound like a bad life choice.
What if he wanted to eat? That don't make no sense. If a man was like, there's a nice restaurant, they play jazz music on Thursdays. You say you like jazz. I want to take you out. People love John Coltrane. I love him. But it's like that's
John Coltrane.
What?
Why you said it like that?
Well, I mean, well, if you like the sound of a saxophone, whatever. You know, it's
I'm
like
going into my black conservative bag. I think it's a difference between white conservatives and black conservatives. So I'm not quite sure.
I thought I was a rock
Believe it or
star.
not,
I do
a
not
lot
know
of
who
the
that is.
conservatives are gay as well.
You don't know John Coltrane?
A lot of
Facts.
conservatives are gay.
Yes, we know who John Coltrane is, but y'all listen. Y'all putting requests out there like we asked for it. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all making suggestions that wasn't. I don't know. Let me stop.
Well, people really
Go
out
ahead,
here
bro.
contrary to the popular
Y'all
opinion.
wait. Y'all taking chicks out to go listen to jazz on the first day? Y'all really rolling? You know what? Y'all rolling out the red carpet. Y'all really
I think
are.
it depends on who you are. Like,
That's a beautiful
I think it
thing.
depends on like how y'all met. Like, do y'all know each other? Y'all already got a rapport, and you ask her out, or is this, hey, I seen you somewhere, I got your number, we text for a little bit, and we going
Now
out.
you want to take me out to
Yeah,
jazz?
I think
Yeah,
it
it's a
look at
difference.
you like.
See,
from the
that's
situation.
again, y'all do all of that because
Oh,
y'all
you
think
want to
that
go
that's
to the
what
boot
it
club
takes.
or something?
No, we going to In-N-Out Burger. What the fuck you talking about?
Why do
Yes.
y'all all
Yes.
hungry or something? Why y'all always want to eat? Y'all don't want nothing else to
Yeah,
do. Y'all ain't got
because they
nothing else
want
to
to
do.
keep.
Oh,
They
I
want.
I love a good jazz
Bitch
club.
be hungry, okay? We like eating more than once.
They play music at In-N-Out Burger. You ain't
Yeah,
never heard
you
of it?
Yes.
with
It closed at 3. Let's
Fact.
go.
That is a fact.
Felt like you
They
can
do
hold
close
out,
at
Anton.
3.
There you go.
nothing wrong with a little salmon and some nice jazz music playing in the background,
Salmon.
low enough for you to hear.
You could
Salmon?
do that at home, sis.
Do you expect that?
Well, I'm excited. I had a coffee park
Yeah,
date today, so I'm a little
You had a
happy.
coffee
Hey,
park date today?
Oh, okay,
I
Miss
did.
Nikki.
That's
Daily,
sweet.
They be saying coffee dates, like they don't be liking coffee dates. Did you like your coffee date?
Well,
I
no,
love
that's
coffee.
impressive. I mean, just from the fact that,
Wait,
I think that the time spent with a woman is a huge sacrifice for a guy, depending on how busy he is. Him
Sure.
carving time out of your day to just sit and talk to you is crazy. But you
Yeah,
went
we
on
all
a park
took
date?
time.
How y'all hold hands in the park?
We did.
Sure.
I
And
was
we
looking
sat on
at
the
the view.
bench. You said
He
what?
really like you.
Yeah, I was looking at like a view or something. Like
Well, I have a picnic mat because I do like the park. We were there first, but then he wanted to sit by the lake, so I was down with that too.
Oh,
I
that's
He
tried
really
to
like
work
you.
on my stuff.
That's
I think
romantic.
so.
I love that.
I
Very
love it too. I'm
romantic.
so excited.
Mm-mm.
80, what are you shaking your head for?
I want to know.
Like, what's the problem? We can't get a coffee date. We can't get a dinner date. Like, you want to take us to In-N-Out and Burger or In-N-Out Burger? Like, we got to get the scraps. Like, we bums. Like, what is going on?
First
She
of
can't.
all,
Like, what's
In
going
and
on?
out.
I've done a lot
You don't like the
less.
picnic
Not
in the
to
park.
mention,
I've done a lot less.
No.
not
Thank
to
you.
mention, I'm a bag chaser. I
No,
mean,
first of all, In and Out is never crumbs. In and Out
I
is
feel like it's
never
that's
crumbs.
what I like to do.
It's my
Why I
opinion.
gotta
It's
get
crumbs.
crumbs? I'm not a
It's
dust.
It is
crumbs for
not.
a date.
It's not.
It's
It's
crumbs
nice
for a date.
toasted and buttery toasted and
It's
nice
crumbs
and
for a
good
All
and
date.
right, bet.
juicy.
Aaliyah,
It's not
what's
Burger
your first
King.
date? What's it supposed
It's
to be
crumbs
like
for a
for you?
date. I'm
It's
not
like
gonna lie.
it's not Burger King though. So it definitely Burger King is crumbs.
I will say
All
this,
fast
like,
food on a first date is crumbs.
yeah, I wouldn't do a coffee date because I don't drink coffee. But if it was like smoothie, tea, something like that, I can't do in and out. I'm pescatarian. So if I tell you these certain things and then you say, let's go here, then I'm going to automatically stop talking to you because that just means you don't listen. Because that's usually like one of the first things that I say.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm not a good listener sometimes. So
I'll probably do bowling. I would prefer to do something
That's a
active,
good date, Aaliyah. The competitiveness
interactive, so we can
yeah.
like really get to talk.
men be
Each other.
think. Hold on, wait. Men be listening to y'all.
I do
That
common
is so crazy to me. Like,
activities that I do already.
But wait,
y'all actually be like, man.
There are men
saying
that
what y'all
like
do.
women, Anton, and they care about wanting to
but
take
wait,
you like.
wait, real quick, Aaliyah, wasn't
Promise
that
you.
you?
I
Wasn't that
promise
you
you.
that did the marinated that chicken in that whipped cream
Me? Where?
on your live? It was you and some other folk on the live, and you was like, "Is this
You
how
know
you
what I'm
marinated?"
saying? You know what I'm
with
saying?
some whipped cream.
Then they want to come around me and get some salmon.
That wasn't me.
You know what I'm
That
saying?
wasn't me.
They get kiddie meals on their own time. You know what I'm saying? Get some chicken strips and fries. And then they want to come around. And then they want to come around you and get some
I be
salmon.
eating steak, yellow rice, mashed potatoes.
You having a whole feast over there.
Who's eating kiddie meals? Like what? Who's doing that? I'm not
We might as
eating
well
that.
just cook and stay at home. Like it's no point of
Yes.
going anywhere.
I got a whole thing of bananas right here. We're gonna figure this shit out.
You gonna feed a chick like she a
Only
Not a
like no
banana.
strawberries, no
monkey? Oh
blueberries,
my
just
goodness.
bananas. The bare minimum.
You throw that with some milk and some peanut butter in the blender. You got yourself a smoothie.
Man, y'all tripping. We finna make some gumbo, jambalaya.
I got a whole thing of bananas over here. I'm gonna talk.
Ain't nobody finna do all that.
A meal with a drink is $15. That's fine. That's my fast food. Is Panera.
I'm not even bringing no money. What you
Anton, where you take Rita for the first date?
Oh Lord.
On a first date?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Might have
Mama's
been.
chicken.
Nah, I think I went to the drive-in.
I mean,
So
that's a
you
movie.
spend money.
That's a
You
movie.
spend money.
I guess.
Say what now?
You spend money.
To the drive-in?
Nothing is free.
Well, back then you could get a lot for $5.
Wait, she said back then, like you so old.
It had to be what, 2002 or 3 or
She
something?
told like he was born in 1949.
They've been married.
I think I think I went to the drive-in, and then the next time I might have went out to like Fridays or something like that.
Babe.
See, look, what's wrong with Fridays?
Babe.
And
They got a steak on the menu. They got a steak on the menu.
The shade
Ain't no
is
wrong with
crazy.
Fridays. Ain't nothing wrong with Fridays. I just want to know, like, he said In-N-Out burger. And Rita got Fridays.
When I went to
like,
California, I had one.
Nah, dog, listen.
I got a
Listen.
It depends on where you went before In-N-Out burger.
Nah, this was the play.
I tried it.
We went to the drive-in.
I'm so weak.
But then we stopped at the gas station, got some snacks.
Mm-hmm.
And then
you spent money, period. That's it. Case closed.
I might have spent $17 total.
That's how it used to be, for real.
Y'all don't know. Y'all wasn't outside at that time.
You absolutely.
But yeah, I was in
right.
kindergarten.
I do not know.
Y'all wasn't outside.
Not kindergarten.
What?
I don't know.
In 2000 and what?
Y'all making me feel old now. Stop.
Oh my God!
Really? I was born in 2002.
I was 12.
I don't know.
Dang.
The point is that
you younger than my
I'm
oldest daughter.
old.
I'm
the
20.
point is that
You the
if
same
she
age as my
is rocking
son.
with you, she don't care what y'all do. Like y'all be doing all of this extra, taking them to get steaks and.
I said bowling.
Steaks. What you mean?
I said bowling.
It depends on if I have nails or not. Because I don't want to break a nail. I had that happen before, so certain stuff like that, I'm like.
Because of my job, I don't typically like wear my nails long. So like I would do like I would like to go bowling, especially because like my dad is like a bowler. He got his own ball and everything like that. So I know how to bowl low key. So I would just want to show you that I know how to bowl, and that's just what that is.
I'll watch you bowl.
Yeah, I like to bowl, so we could go bowling, and we could get to interact, get to know each other. And they got wings and fries and stuff like that at the bowling alley, so we could just do all of that all in one. We don't gotta go nowhere extra because I'm probably gonna want to go home after. You know.
What you mean you go home where?
I'm tired.
Well, you should have took a nap.
Here you go.
I'm just saying. What you mean you tired?
I'll be tired. I'll be tired.
Let me stop. I'm gonna play one more video for y'all. I want to get y'all thoughts on this real quick.
Okay.
And to the black community specifically, like, are we perfect? Cause we must be perfect because nobody can tell black people anything. If I get up here and I preach to the black community, it's, oh, you hate black women, or you are Uncle Tom, you a Sambo, you supporting whites. Like, nah, bro. If someone's saying something to shine light on an issue in the community that can probably improve the community, what's the problem? If Dr. Umar said, and y'all know y'all love Dr. Umar, I don't know why. You know, he does say some legit stuff, but I give you that. If Dr. Umar, you know, shines light on an issue in the black community, y'all got a problem with him. White people can't do it. Black people can't do it. Who can do it? If a black woman do it, y'all call her a pygmy. Who can do it, bruh? So, I mean, y'all mad at Charlie Kirk, and he did say some wild thing. He did spew some wild stuff about the black community. We ain't gonna sit here and debate that. That's not a debate. But I think his intent was, you know, just to speak the truth. That's all, you know. And the truth doesn't always feel good. Like, for instance, when he brings up the black on black crime, you know, people don't realize, like, yeah, we do unalive each other more than any other race unalives us. It's a fact. Is it comfortable to hear? No. But y'all hear him say it. Now y'all talking about he hate black people. It's a fact. It don't matter who say it. It's a fact, bruh. So the black community specifically, we just too sensitive, man. And because you don't like what someone said, you get online and start celebrating their assassination. At the end of the day, we all Americans. We all human. You're sick and you're evil. Like, this shit is crazy, bro. I never thought I would see something like this in my life, man. And it's sad, bro. Y'all do y'all thing, though.
Question is, and it's not just for black people. I had formed a question for anybody, whether you're liberal or whatever. Why is it so difficult for people to accept the truth, or for you to be able to hold them accountable? Anybody can answer.
Because the truth contradicts the lies people choose to believe. And especially when you believe in abundance of lies, if you start to accept the truth, you will start to question your own self. You'll start to question, am I stupid? Can I trust my own self? Can I trust my own thoughts? People are not ready to hold themselves accountable and look in the mirror and say, I'm not as smart as I thought I was. Right. What I do notice about the black community specifically, black women, I'm going to get some flack for this. They don't like to be the last person in the room to know something, even about themselves. So if they didn't know first and you did, they'll reject it as if it's not. Well, if I didn't know it first, then it can't be true. That's what I've seen.
What do you mean? What do you mean by they don't want to know certain things about themselves? What do you mean by that?
That I'm gullible, that I don't know how to critically think. I don't know how to think for myself. I don't know what to care about. Therefore, I don't know how to decipher between a lie, a falsehood, and a fact. I can't trust to be an informative person. I can only just be the person people are waiting to spoon feed information. They can't trust themselves to validate things or not. And I think that's why they don't like the hard truths, because it's like, well, why do you know this about my own self and I don't? That's a hard pill to swallow, that everybody can see your problem except you. That's what I think. That's what I see.
I think it's it, like you said, it holds up a mirror. And when you can't blame, like, you can't say, oh, it's because of the white man, or it's because of this or that. Mm-hmm. It's like, all right, now you got to look within. It's like, damn, why am I still in this same position then, if it's not anything outside of myself? And I think that's the biggest reason.
Mm-hmm. Smell your ass. It stank. Clean it up. And then you don't have to worry about somebody else telling you that, you should stink. Everybody should stink, but don't act like, yours don't. So
we didn't had our great grandmothers and grandmothers and parents' ideology imprinted on us for generations, all the way back. They never, if you listen to older people, it's not going away. Mm-hmm. And so it's up to us to change the narrative, people like us, and just kind of making it bigger. But this has been ingrained in us for so long. It's almost like implanted in our DNA almost. And like I read to this one video, and the girl was saying, like, our wombs cursed, like we are cursed. We still in the wilderness wandering around. And in order to change that, the mindset gonna have to change, and we just gonna have to keep having these
You
conversations.
said the wombs is cursed?
Maybe it's the mind, not the womb. Maybe the mind.
The wombs are cursed because all these abortions women are having. Their wombs are.
And look at what and look at the fruit that's produced. It's rotting, a lot of it.
Mm-hmm. That's true too.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment.
Yeah, I also think that you can't by holding black women or by holding black people accountable, that will force them to get out of their victim mindset, and they want to remain a victim in a lot of situations.
They always bring up slavery too. Like, this is what happened to us, and they put us in this box to always be like this. And then when you become a person that says, well, now we have all the tools and resources to not have to pass down the baton of, regressing, passing down the baton of ignorance and fear. Like, I think, I don't want to talk bad about our grannies. I really don't. I love our grannies. They make a mean collard green. But I remember a long time ago, asking Obama, what's a Democrat? What's a Republican? Because I don't know. I will never forget. Democrats are for black people. Republicans are for rich white folks. And when you first introduce that way of thinking, and you don't make sure that your children are getting the right education as they grow into out of adolescence into their adulthood, it stains on them. And it takes a long time, or should I say a lot of work, to get that stain off your brain. That's the victimhood mentality. So when you do something wrong, you already have a person or an entity of some sort to blame. It'll never be look within and see what you did wrong to apply correction, but always blame someone for your choices or for your
and they're not gonna stop. You see the Al Sharptons. Have you noticed the Al Sharptons? All of them are getting older. They're all getting ready. God forbid something happen.
I love Bobblehead.
All of them. They creating like the Joy Reids. They just raising up more of these people to keep spewing this stuff.
And
Joy Reid also look like.
And her parents are immigrants.
It goes deeper than even just
but they all just
seeing that.
Man, they don't. Those people do not care.
The race filters are narcissists.
I always find that so weird that the people whose parents are immigrants, like, you aren't even like foundationally from here. Your parents are immigrants, but you're so much on the race stuff, like Amanda Seals, Joy Reid, like Kareem Jean-Pierre. Like,
I'm an immigrant, and I remember
and then they be married to the people they claim to hate. They love sleeping with the oppressor. Yeah.
Well, the Democrat Party sold y'all a bill of goods, the whole black community, thinking they're going to help you. And all it did was push you down, separated fathers from the homes, community housing. And that's got to change.
And they did
to be so honest. Oh,
no, go ahead.
My bad, Dave. No, to be so honest, that DEI mess or whatever, like, if you really, really think about it, like, you just trying to get a hand out. Like, you trying to get a leg up whenever everybody else has to walk through this particular door, and it's like, oh, you have this special door around the back, and you can go there as long as you're this skin color, or this ethnic group, or LGBTQ. Like, then you're able to have access to more resources and more ways in. And it's
because
like,
you're a victim,
right? And it's like,
but they
it
so
makes
uninvolved that they didn't take
you
advantage of that.
right. It makes you look like you're not as valid as if you walked in the entrance door. Like, and I understood what Charlie was saying when he said what he said. Like, it's not that he was saying that, oh, black people are just inadequate. We know that they're, the women on Hidden Figures, those three ladies, they walked through a particular door that had nothing to do with DEI. There was no way they could be discredited, no nothing. You knew that these women meant business and they knew what the hell they were doing. Now, if you go and try to research what men are out here pioneering their way through things, we wouldn't know because of the DEI. And so that's pretty much what he was like saying. And so many people just took it as, oh, he's just running black people through the ground. That's evil, that's wicked, that's hatred. No, that's logic, sweetie. There's no way for you to statistically know who's really in the trenches and getting stuff out the mud, and who's really pushing their way through with the knowledge that they have. Michelle Obama, I'm sorry, I can't trust that she's as knowledgeable as she may try to make herself seem. Or the other lady that admitted that she came through on DEI or whatever. Like, it's just not believable. But if DEI is removed, whenever it is removed, that makes it way easier for us to be seen again. And they don't understand that.
No, I mean, DEI is essentially, reverse racism. It's saying you aren't good enough, or you're not smart enough, or you can't be, the same as everybody else. So
reverse.
we have
Yeah,
to do this
I
for
just
you,
feel
and
like
it's
I don't
reverse
think it's
racism.
I just feel like being a black liberal is like an oxymoron. Like it just doesn't even make sense, because it's just like every policy, everything they push to the community is just, it holds us down. It holds us back. It keeps us stagnant. It keeps us it just keeps us in this victim mindset. It never pushes for us to do better. It pushes for us to stay on welfare, stay on unemployment, keep the fathers out the home. Nothing positive. There's
Well,
nothing
you
positive.
ain't black unless you vote for Joe Biden. Then you know.
What what was
Crazy.
that?
I can't
What
believe
was
I
that? How are you
Craziest
able to
person I ever
revoke my
seen.
race because of a white man? Like it just doesn't. It just doesn't make sense. And I feel like that's why you can't hold them accountable, because it'll mess with their entire worldview. Like they will crash. Like they believe the lies, and they believe the okie doke so much. It's just like, if you try to actually reason with them and be honest and state the facts, they can't. It just doesn't. It seems like it doesn't register, and it's because it doesn't. They can't fathom it. They can't. If what we're saying was to be true, their entire worldview would be shut down. They would have no sense of identity. They wouldn't know who they are. They wouldn't they would question everything about themselves, about the world they live in, about literally any and everything. So it's like a never ending cycle. Like it's just a never ending cycle, and it's
It's
just
like weird though. It's
it's
super
very weird.
weird because it's like they don't understand like how DEI is not allowing you to be seen individually. You are literally seen as a group, or because you're black,
They
as a
see it when it
group of
comes to money though. Like
right.
Nepo
They see
babies.
you
They'll
as a
see it like
numbers.
that. They'll see
Yeah,
it like
right,
that, but
as
they'll never see
numbers,
you for the
because
skin.
they wouldn't they get like a grant or like extra money for if they meet the certain quota or whatever like that. You're just a number. You're not being seen. You're a number. But whenever all of that stuff didn't exist, you were able to make a way for yourself, for your name, for your family. You were able to gain respect and honor, and that carried itself down the line. But whenever they tore all that stuff up, tore our families up, it's like it just demolished all of that. But in order for us to get back to that, we need to stop saying, hey, we want y'all to give us a number. No, F the number. We need to have our real seats. Like, we really need to be looked after. Like, hey, I want Carmaya. I want Jerry. I want Aaliyah. Like, we need to be known by name, not by number. That's crazy.
And I'll also say this as well. If we're speaking about DEI, I know that some people are saying it in the chat as well, and I've been seeing on social media with Charlie Kirk didn't want the Civil Rights Act. What he was saying was that there should be a one-page bill that specifically says there should be no racial discrimination or racial bias in America, and it's unacceptable. He said that the Civil Rights Act, which we all know to be true, was hijacked by the feminist movement, was hijacked by the LGBTQ movement, was hijacked by all of the extras, and it was tied into the civil rights movement. And he said that the Civil Rights Act, in its intent, was and did have a good purpose, but as it was implemented and became into law, that it was completely changed. And that Civil Rights Act that our ancestors fought for, marched for, died for, that was supposed to be for Black people to prevent racial bias, is now being used to have LGBTQ being implemented into schools, or to have biological men being allowed in women's spaces. That's what he was saying. And it's like the intentionality behind misquoting someone or saying, oh, well, he said, yes, he said, I don't think that the Civil Rights Act was a good idea. immediately after explain what he meant by that.
Right. He was specifically
They
asked
clip
to explain
it
and he
as
did.
soon right before he
And nobody
explains
asked,
himself
where's the
in
rest
every
of
clip.
it? Nobody does. I noticed that. It's like it doesn't dawn on you. Why did you only show me 22 seconds of a 10-minute interview?
Right.
Because
And then you send it to them, and then they have nothing to say. Oh, well, that's not what was really. It's right here in black and white. You can read the transcript if you want to. Some websites offer the transcript, or you can actually listen to what it is that he's saying. How can you disagree with that? We all know, wait, our ancestors died for this. So how do you get it? How do you get it? How is DEI supposed to help us? But it's mainly been benefiting white women.
So in theory, it's like DEI in theory sounds good, but in actual practice, you see how it
even in
And
theory,
that's what
it
I'm
don't
not
sound
understanding.
good.
How is the
It don't sound
racism
good.
rhetoric coming into play if it was really for anybody of a minority group or whatever? Like if you fall under the LGBTQ, then it's like, oh boom, DEI, or whatever else it covered. Like, and when he speaks on DEI and gives a specific example, now he's racist. But DEI, I thought you said, is for white folks as well. Like, make sense.
The logic is never consistent. It doesn't make sense. It's unreasonable. It's illogical. It would never make sense to a reasonable human being. It would never make sense. Which is why they always have to go so hard. They can't. They can't stick with the facts.
That, like the phrase "pull yourself up by your bootstraps" somehow is now seen as an insult.
Right.
Like putting in work is
cool to be a victim now. Yeah. It's cool to be oppressed.
That's kind of weird to me.
Oh no,
So
you
I feel
can't
like
accept that.
accountability part started when we as a community started accepting that it was okay to be a single mother. We started letting people get away with that. Then little boys started acting like they moms, and they would start throwing fits.
Mario, you talk like a Chinese movie. Your lips be moving, but then your words is different from your lips.
Yeah, it was. I was wondering what the lag was. Anyway, I was just saying. I think it started when we started letting single parent households become a norm, and that made little boys start acting like their mom whenever somebody would hold them accountable. It used to be like even if you grew up in a single parent household, an OG could check you on something and you would listen. But now they gonna unalive you or tell you where you can go to. And so now the OGs done step back. Can't nobody talk to a young man no more.
Ain't no more OGs.
Yeah, and more. It's every man for themselves. And so now accountability is like a curse word.
To be so real, I was brought up in a generation where the grandmothers was still there for a small amount of time. I was like that last generation that had like the older generation of grandmothers. So I was more so raised by my grandmother. My mom, she worked a lot, and my grandmother was the one that had to check me and hey, make sure you're doing this. Don't do that. That's not that. That ain't right. And she would be the one to lead me in the Bible and show me these different stories and stuff. So we just don't. Our generation, we just don't have it. And
disciplinarians in our structures, in our in our household.
Yeah, we talking about gentle parenting and stuff like that. Like, we got our ass whooped. Okay.
You had to go pick up switch. And if you brought the skinny one, you had to go back out. And if you brought another skinny one,
the switch, yo, that is undefeated. My dad that's undefeated. You can't tell me that stuff don't work.
I'm gonna get y'all final thoughts, and then I want to make sure I read super chats, and then I want y'all to be able to promote y'all channels or promote whatever it is that you got going on.
Well, let me just say this. If you don't want to be discriminated against for not getting a job because of the color of your skin, you shouldn't want to get a job because of the color of your skin, because you're told to work hard and get this education, but you're going to dismiss it and give me the job just because of something I cannot change or have an effect on. You're born Black, but you give yourself the knowledge and the skills needed for a job. So I think you should be offended if someone is dismissing your merit and giving you a step or a job just because of something that you were born with. I don't think that's right.
I don't really think that y'all really got into most of these positions based off of merit, though. I don't know.
I mean, that's
said,
why it's all
numbers.
these mass layoffs. Like, that's why you see 300,000 Black women losing their jobs.
You think those were DEI hires?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Loaded for sure.
I think that it more so had to do with it being DEI and also just them not having the right degrees or the right fields. Like, I think that they were saying that, white women, they're like, white women weren't losing their jobs. White women were mainly in economic and recession-proof fields, whereas Black women tend to be in hospitality, customer service, things that are pretty much being taken over by AI or are able to get cut.
It was
but that's the
created to fill a quota, I think.
If it is true, then that kind of makes sense. It doesn't make it right, but I can understand the disparity with that.
I mean, that's just the okie doke that they always sell us, that, oh, this is for you, without necessarily setting you up for success and everything like that. And then now you following along with it. Oh, DI. And they keeping their jobs. And now look, 300,000 Black women without jobs because they wasn't properly qualified for the positions that they were in due to them being DEI. And it's just, it's always like that. And in any field you try to think about it, it's always like that. Yeah, like
Vice President was DEI, and it came out of Joe Biden. Now she's my first.
What's that lady named Ketanji Brown Jackson? She was chosen because she was Black. Kamala Harris was
said
chosen
that I'm
because
going
she was
to
Black.
pick a Black female Joe Biden said I'm going to pick a Black female vice president, and I'm going to pick a Black female Supreme Court justice.
And he lied because you couldn't even get a Black. It's like, if you was gonna do it, at least do it. You brought a racially ambiguous looking woman just because she can use a hot comb too. Child.
But it was acceptable for Ketanji and Kamala Harris because they were both married to white men. That's the only exception. That's the only time racism doesn't exist and the white man isn't the oppressor, is if the Black woman is married to a white man.
Thank you, Jerry.
But even in that type of stereotype, I feel like Black women who marry white men see white men as an upgrade from Black men, which is why that's why you typically see liberal women with white men. They see them as an upgrade. They see them as I'm now in this area of my life, and that's how they see it, and which is why they do it. And they date white men because they're inherently racist, and that's just they're inherently racist. That's why they choose to be with white men over Black men. I feel like that's a choice they make in their mind. Yes, I want to go with this white man. Like, I feel like that's a choice they make. And
straight for the business. When you really look at it and you find out what these white men's background is, who their family are. Look at Candace Owens. Her husband come from money. Kamala Harris. Her husband owned, what is it called, Anton? Black Hook, Black Rock, Black something. Like, who else? Ketanji to her husband. They got money. And it's like, you don't ever see them marrying a broke white man. But I'm not going to say too much because they know I got to be mindful of my words.
Let me read some of the super chats. Let me read the super chats. Give me a second. TZ says, Jerry, stop playing. You so fine for is that what is FORL? For real?
That's Ebonics world.
That's good. Mark Pyers says, let me make this clear. I don't agree with what happened to Kirk, but will we have the same smoke for those that celebrated Hitler death? My point is I believe in freedom of speech.
False equivalency.
Jessica James says, I absolutely love Nikki, and I say this with all love. You're right, Lash. Original Man says, it feel good to be a free thinker. I can see and call bullshit on both sides. Let God sort them out. DJ says, this ain't got nothing to do with black folks. A white boy unalived them. Y'all sound like overseers. Your thinking kept us in slavery. Mills 36 says, it's a white crime problem in this world. Lasher Deviants Gaming says, Jerry, E-Train, and Dalen are all this week's winners. AR Smitty says, I'd see it through, but I wouldn't tell nobody. Lasher Devious Gaming says, I'm conservative and hetero poly. Oh my God. Conservatives are freaks too, just not on that literal alphabet-ish. Mills says,
purple gravy.
2028. Jermaine English says, what up though with the super sticker? Carrington Love Jr. says, Jerry, if you are not married, you need to come to North Carolina and get these house keys, girl. Acres. Oh my God. Mark Pyers says, my first date with my wife was looking at a newly built homes, and then we went to Home Depot. 22 years later, we still go on dream dates. That's pretty cool.
Oh, cute.
Carrington Love Jr. says, scratch that, Jerry. I'm not researching a specific diet and then finding restaurants for that diet. Oh, no. Molly in the building says, if a man is worried about spending money on his date, then he clearly too broke to date, or you're in the friend zone. Facts. Friend zone. Mark Pyre says, In-N-Out today is like a steak dinner in 2002. Not happening. I need to know where your head is financially.
Boom. Because In-N-Out is good.
I don't want In-N-Out burger. Like
I'm not talking. We know you want the whipped cream chicken. We good.
No, that's not what I said. I just don't want In-N-Out burger. Like,
let me have my In-N-Out, Aaliyah. Leave me alone, okay?
I don't want that. You shouldn't want that neither.
I don't, but I do because I'm pregnant, okay?
Crazy is crazy. I'm gonna get you the animal fries. You know what I'm saying? They different.
The fuck is that? Like, what are we even talking about?
Animal fries.
Like, I'm getting
that F came off like
with the super sauce on it.
Like, I'm getting traumatized. Like, you make me like it's making me want to itch. Like, I need it gotta stop.
Oh, I got some cream for some itch. You know, just go to my page, hit me up. I got you.
You'll be all right.
What type of cream? Where you got this cream from?
Oh no, it comes from my lab. I make my stuff. I make my stuff. No. I make my stuff. I'm a naturopathic doctor.
Yeah. I remember that. I could get some.
I could take some. Hold on. Got y'all earthy chicks up here. I take first dates to lunch and the range. The box be stupid wet the same day. Oh, I got the worst chat in the world. Buck 313 Buck says no cooking on the first date though. AR Smitty says true knowledge exists in knowing that you know nothing. Mark Pyers says until black people accept we've all been misled, we'll continue to be lost. Carrington Love Jr. says great point, Dalen. I have this problem with my little girlfriend. Can't tell her nothing to help her with self-development. Her ignorance is unconscious. Always on the wrong side of a philosophy. Let her suffer, bro. Smoke, Spare None says, I can never find the white people that was stopping me from doing shit. I looked at them for years. I looked for them for years. Daddy and the Caddy says, did E-Train vote for Mama La Kamala? Quentin says the friend zone is comfy. Mark Pyre says, thank you for all that you do on the panel. Or thank you to all on the panel. Respectful and no crashing out. Does anybody want to promote their stuff and get it popping?
I'm good.
I don't have nothing.
No, I'm good.
You can follow me on Instagram. I cook
have
for my
a photography page linked to my Instagram. So
I would love y'all to come visit me at Just a Brown Girl in America. So on YouTube,
Brown Girl in America is in the building. Yeah.
Carmaya She on TikTok, Instagram. Come follow me, and y'all can come and look at my hair page too. Look.
Mark Pyre says steak on the first day means we get to know each other overnight.
Says who?
It says the steak.
Says you or me.
It says Mr. Steak.
Yeah, on the other side of the pillow fort.
Like, what's up? If I say I want steak, and that means I gotta go home with you because I like some steak. This is what I eat on a regular in my household. If you can't make, I don't know what's the problem. If you can't get me steak, then what's the problem? Any restaurant you go to, it has a steak on the menu. You just gotta, you feel me? Be smart.
You gotta level it up with the bison steak though. The bison steak really gonna hit you.
Nah, you can go home. Listen, ain't nobody trying to. Never mind.
I'm just saying.
Y'all got to learn how to let them go home. When they say they want to go home, let them go home. We good with that? That's what's up. No means no.
Not even stressing it.
Ooh, even the lamb steak though. Okay.
Lamb chops.
There you go.
Lobster mac and cheese.
Oh, you trying to eat that broke girl talking about some seafood in the mac and cheese.
I'm just
My
saying.
choir says eat at home.
Why I gotta eat at home? You could eat at home. I could go out to eat. I can afford it if you come or not. You know what I'm saying? Is that I can do that. You can't do that. It's not my fault.
Y'all are funny. All right, everybody.
In the chat.
Yeah, we about to wrap
pillow's
up.
calling my name.
Well, we got you. Listen, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We are out. Peace.
Bye.